What's up, guys? Welcome to SpawnCast episode. Evan, what episode are we on?
That'd be 46.
46. Evan was ready. All right. Very good. Very good. We don't have Sean and Max are not here right now. They're actually missing. Sean is moving and Max is still at Katsucon. Evan and I were actually up there earlier, but we drove back so we could make sure we could do SpawnCast for you guys. But we do have two guests on tonight. We have OJ from PlayerEssence. You guys are getting to know him pretty well. How you doing, OJ? How's it going?
I'm doing very good. I'm doing very good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. And then we have a newcomer this time. It's Jason from Hey Jay on YouTube. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Slight improvement over Sean, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, Sean has his moments. I will say that.
Well, you're not smoking and drinking a Dr. Pepper, so I mean,
we're peeing in a bottle for everyone to see.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about your channel before we get into some of the topics and everything tonight?
Oh, my channel?
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah. Okay, so my channel is a baby channel. I came over from Nintendo Enthusiasts. That's where I was doing content for the last few years. About a year ago, I started Hey Jay, so it's a channel with top 10 lists, reviews, my thoughts on the industry, on games, and on personal projects. Like right now, we are working on the biggest video game convention in Canada, which is where I'm based out of. So it's a fairly light channel for content. Oh, and once a week we have a podcast, of course, with Sean every Sunday.
Yeah. So if you want to see more of Sean, I guess in another setting, they have their own podcast Sunday night. What's that called?
Class vs. Crass.
Class vs. Crass. Very good, very good. And that's you and Sean, right? On the
yeah.
On the
can you guess who's Crass? Yeah.
All right. I don't think Sean's be able to jump in. He was telling me maybe from his cell phone or something, but I don't know how easy that would be and how well that would sound. So I told him just worry about, because right now here, Evan and I were just driving through it. It's like it was like a mini blizzard going on out there in here, and I think it was like 4 inches of snow outside right now. So
Yikes.
it's piling up right now. I think Sean's like, I assume he's driving some kind of U-Haul or truck or something. So
yeah,
I was like, it's not a big deal. You know, make sure you get from North Carolina to Delaware. All right. You know, so because we were just down in DC and it was bad down there too. So it was fun though. I think Evan, you were probably posting pictures on Twitter, right, from Katsucon?
Occasionally. I didn't post as many as I'd like. I mean, super distracting there.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. It was hard enough just to wade through all of the people. Have either of you guys been to Katsucon at all?
No,
Okay. I mean, it's East Coast. It's like Washington, D.C., so it's you're on the other side.
Yeah, I'm all the way in California. I haven't even seen snow since 1999. So
wow. Okay, we see it all the time. It's actually amazing if we don't see snow a couple times a year.
No, it never snows in the Central Valley in California. Like almost never. It's 1999 was the last time it snowed and like they shut down everything.
Wow.
Shut down everything.
I assume, Jason, you see snow all the time. I assume.
I hate it.
I
see it.
Does it snow like when it snows? Does it snow like a lot there?
Well, I'm like in south part of Canada. Like there is a south part, so there's not that much here compared to the north. But yeah, usually like from December to March, it's covered in snow.
Sure. Yeah. Like here, it seems to always snow more in February here than any other month for some reason. I don't know why. But either way. So what's everyone been playing? What have you guys been playing this week? Anything good?
You want to go first, Jay?
Yeah, sure. I've been playing only one game, which is Rime, and I'm falling in love with it. It's an amazing game, really beautiful.
Yeah, it is a fantastic game. I played it on the PC when that came out. It was awesome.
Are you playing it on the PS4?
I am playing it on the PS4. It's free this month for PS Plus members.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And I just made it to a part where you get a companion, and like the game got an emotional response from me. The music is beautiful. It's a game that I just love the style where it keeps you guessing as to like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And it's just rewarding along the way. Like the more you go, the more it's rewarding.
Yeah, because there's no dialogue in that game at all, right? It's basically you just kind of going through it, and they just kind of hint to you, and it's very artistic.
Yeah, it's grunts and a fox barking at you, but yeah.
Considering our chat, I do suggest not paying attention to it that much for a little bit as possible spoilers, because it is brilliant. And if this is your first time playing it through, you probably don't want to get spoiled.
Right. Thanks for the heads up. I'm not going to look at it.
Or are people spoiling it in the chat?
I just want to make sure that no one starts tossing stuff in there. I did play it all the way through one sitting, and it was awesome.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it's not like a super long game, right?
Nah.
Yeah, it's like a 3 or 4 hour.
I was hoping to finish it before tonight, but didn't happen.
It's like a 3 or 4 hour game, I think. But what about you, OJ? What have you been playing, man?
To be honest, I've been playing a lot this week, man. The community over here on PlayerEssence, we were playing Rocket League, and it was like the funnest thing ever, like earlier today. So that was my first time playing Rocket League on Switch. I just picked it up.
I play a lot. I play a lot of Rocket League actually. I like that game a lot.
It's really good, but especially if you have friends. We're all on Discord. It was just amazing. We had a lot of fun before server maintenance kicked in. So we were playing that today, and then I've also been playing. Bayonetta just came out, so had a nice live stream of that. Super fun. Bayonetta is one of my favorite games of all time, so it was just great to play that on the Switch. And Xenoblade 2. So pretty much that's what I've been playing this week.
I have Bayonetta. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I was just gonna get to 2 because I have 1 on like everything, and I played that one so many times. But 2, I only played once because I played it on the Wii U because that was all it was on. So I'm actually excited to see it on the Switch where it performs better from what we've seen everywhere. So I'm excited to jump on that, and having it portable, like in handheld form, is so weird still for a game like that.
It is weird for a game like that. I played a little bit of portable earlier. It is definitely weird, but it's welcome. It's cool.
No, it's weird that you see a game like that, like being able to be portable. It's like it's not attached to a TV or a wall.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
I agree. It's very, very. There are no, because like PlayStation and like 3DS, like PS Vita, they never had games like that style of Bayonetta, like a DMC style. I mean, you saw God of War back in the day on the PSP.
Oh yeah, but that was muddy.
Yeah, you saw God of War back then, but I mean, there really hasn't been much. They didn't do God of War on the PSP, or sorry, the PS Vita, and they didn't do Devil May Cry on the PS Vita. They didn't do any of the other that type of action game. So it was cool. I mean, we've seen some indie games, but it was kind of cool to see that style of game anywhere that you want. So it's very different, but it's like I said, it's cool. It's awesome.
It's sharp. It's really sharp on that screen. Like if anyone in the chat has never played Bayonetta, you might as well. What I recommend doing is getting the first one if you're gonna go digital, because it's $30. Try it, see if you like it, and then they cut it down to another 30, I believe, for Bayonetta 2. So it's just $60 total. That's almost like a $30 demo almost. You can play the first one, see if you like it, and then jump over to the second one, because the second one is very, very good.
The first one, when the first one came out, I thought it was the greatest action game of all time. My personal favorite. I mean,
I liked it, but I played it on the 360, and that system had a very hard time keeping a 60 frames per second.
It did, but it was we were comparing it to the PS3. So
sure. The PS3 was bad.
Yeah, the PS3 version was horrible. So when it did hit 60, I mean, it was still really good and was still a lot of fun. So they've even made it better. I mean, I've played Bayonetta on every single platform that it's out on. So this one's definitely one of the better ones out there. Definitely one of the better ones.
It's really good on PC. Like if you have a decent computer, you'll get a really nice like frame rate picture and everything. But if you want to play the second one, you got to get on the Switch. So you might as well just buy them both really on the Switch. So good game though. If people in the chat are kind of hesitant or on the edge about it, I would get it. I just haven't had a chance to play it because we were gone all day today. We literally woke up at like 6 in the morning, and we just got back I just got back an hour, 2 hours before this. So
I find it interesting. The Switch version is getting slightly lower scores than the Wii U version. Like the Wii U was getting 10 out of 10s everywhere.
That's interesting. I wonder why that is.
I think it's just at the time. It's a re-release. That's what you see sometimes with re-releases. That they'll get a lower score. So somehow they'll get a lower score than they did the first time. So that's the same game.
Yeah, makes you wonder about the review process, right?
Yeah, that's just how it is. I mean, there might be somebody different that's reviewing the game.
Good point. I mean, it's basically the same game but running better. So it's like, why not?
It would be better. Yeah, it would supposed to be better, right? Like you can take it anywhere and it runs better. And the thing about it is that portable mode doesn't run quite as good as docked, but it still runs better overall than the Wii U version. So I don't know how it's getting lower, but hey, whatever.
Oh yeah. I played a lot of stuff. I played Faye. I actually had that. Strangely, I talk about EA. I talk bad about EA all the time, and I do all the time. But for some reason,
me.
What's Wulff Den? Wulff Den's always like, I can't get on the podcast because it's Saturday night. He's in the chat right now, chatting it up, talking about Owlboy. I was gonna get to Owlboy. I've been playing a lot of Owlboy. I like that game. I actually played it on Steam through completely. Really liked it. Philip reviewed Bayonetta 2. Can you give it a 9 out of 10? That's good. I played Owlboy. I played Faye. Faye is interesting. I will say that. I played it. It runs. We didn't even know it. Dude, here, hold on. You want to be on the podcast? Let me know in the chat. I'll send you a link. This is live.
Who is it?
This is
Wulff
live.
Den.
Wulff Den, yeah.
That sounds familiar.
I did. I
Bob?
did. He's oh yeah, Bob. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I did some work with him.
I met him at
on
PAX East.
the controller.
Years
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to jump in, Bob, let me know. Get your webcam set up. I'll send you a link. No, this is live, man. This isn't pre-recorded. We can get you in here. I did Owlboy, which I've already played. It's a very good game if you like platformers. I love the artwork on it, by the way. It has so many small little touches to it, and honestly, it has basically like these like dungeon parts and everything where you get new abilities by getting new allies that you fly around. Awesome game, completely worth $25.
Soundtrack too.
Oh, there you go. He'll be in 20 minutes. Very good. Soundtrack is awesome. Yes. I really like the pixel art kind of to it. It's like a 16-bit game, but it has like the animations of like a 360 game.
It took them forever to work on. I remember it's been around like in the pipe for a very long time, and I think it was mostly the animations and world art.
Yes. It's so good. If you're looking for a game that's like a really good platform but has some really cool elements to it, just get it. Just go buy it. Don't even question it. But played that. Faye was interesting. I played Faye. I played it on the Switch. I think I have to double check the PS4 version because they sent it to me on the Switch, this sent me a European copy, by the way, which was weird. I had to make like a European account. So now I have a Japanese account, a European account, and an American account. But I got it on there. Again, EA sends it to me, which is weird because I talk a lot about how poorly they're run and how evil their corporation is. Not as much as OJ, though.
To be fair about Fate, you know the studio behind it?
Zoink?
Yes, Zoink Games is the developer behind it.
Yes, yeah. So EA is publishing it. So
it's redeemed a bit there.
Yeah. So if you're like, I don't want to buy this because EA, it's more so EA funded it to get it out there, whereas Zoink actually developed it. So and there's no microtransactions or anything. It's like a straight up indie game, kind of being put out by EA, essentially. Kind of like what's the game coming out? A Way Out, where it's pure co-op. You need two people to play it.
Oh, the Brothers game.
Yes, yeah. That's one I want to check out too because that looks really cool. I actually like Faye. It's interesting on the Switch because I think it runs like 60 frames per second on the other systems. I think it's 30 on the Switch, but honestly, the game is very slow, so it really doesn't matter that much. But the game is weird because it's like Rime. There's no real dialogue, very little dialogue, and it's very artistic. And you sing to different animals to gain their abilities. So essentially you go on quests to then be able to learn their language, then be able to sing to them, which then unlocks new abilities. So yeah, I don't think it's a very long game, but it's $20. And I thought it was pretty cool looking. It's better to see it in person even than over like a video on YouTube or a stream, because if you have it blown up on a really nice TV, it looks really good. But it's very, if you like Rime, you'll probably like Faye is what I'll tell you. So
nice.
And what else? I thought I played a few other things. And I played more Disc Jam. That's basically because there's no Windjammers on the Switch. I end up playing Disc Jam, and I don't like Disc Jam that much either. So someone needs to bring Windjammers over. And then like I said, I have Bayonetta. I've had that sitting for a little while. I'm gonna try playing it tomorrow probably. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I have a thing I have to review, a Game Boy, a thing that turns your phone into a Game Boy. So I have to review that. But that was all I really played. So I'm looking forward to a few other things coming up, mostly Payday, which we're going to talk about here. Because I'm actually really excited for Payday. That's out on the 23rd technically in Europe, which I have a European account, very easy to make. And I can just get it on the 23rd if I don't get an early copy, which is fine. So let me go through. Oh, who's getting Payday 2, by the way? Anyone else in the chat? I mean, Evan, you have Payday 2. They need to incorporate crossplay, by the way. Are you? Yeah, you're talking about OJ possibly getting it.
Yeah. I know you guys wanted to, like, a lot of my users have been asking me about that, like if you're going to, like, if I'm going to get it, and it seems like enough people want to see the game. Yeah, and enough people are going to buy, like enough of the the people that are in my community are going to buy it. So I'm probably I'm going to get it one way or another. I'll probably get it. I'm a noob when it comes to Payday. Like I said, I think I played like a PS3 demo.
Dude, Evan knows everything about Payday 2. Even if he's not playing it on at his house, he could probably run us through so much stuff like easily.
Although I'll join you on a noob stream.
Is there no crossplay confirmed? Because we had Rocket League, I was playing that, and the crossplay is seamless in that game. I had like 2 or 3 people play from PC on the Nintendo Switch, and it was so easy. So is that already confirmed not to have like crossplay?
I don't think we haven't heard about that at all.
No one's really said anything about it.
I hope it does though. But the PC gets updated so constantly, like constant updates. But We're gonna talk about Payday 2 a little later on. I have it way down here on the list, actually. I mean, we can talk about it now. It's not a big deal. But so Payday 2, we were talking about it. Are you getting it as well, Jason?
It's not so much my game. I have to wait and see.
Okay.
I'll probably pick it up like on sale or something.
It's been out for a while. Evan, you want to give us a quick rundown of it for anyone in the chat who's curious as to what we're talking about? Since I know you've put some time into that game, man.
I've put a bit of time, but it's 4-player co-op. There's progression trees for the character types that you want to play. 2 different progression trees, actually. One for just basic abilities in the game. One for more combat-oriented things you can do, kind of like increased percentage chances of things or armor or stuff like that. But the whole premise is you rob things as a little team, and you can either rob them by going loud, which is set off alarms, deal with all the things that happen in that situation, enhanced, I guess, like defenses against robbery and stuff, like electrified walls and things. You got to get around all that stuff. Or you can work together really strategically and get through almost all the missions. I think there's only a handful of them that won't allow it to steal everything without being noticed by anyone. And you can do it. It's pretty fun because that actually changes a lot of elements to the game, and there's a lot of randomization as well. One map can have maybe like 10 different camera locations that'll change. The amount of guards will change, the amount of people, whether or not calls start coming through at certain points if you're trying to quietly steal from them. There's all kinds of crazy stuff.
So you can case the place, but you can send someone in who's very good at casing the place, and they can walk around and figure everything out, and then draw out basically an idea to do it. It's very cool.
And you can spec in gear for that too. Like if you have specific outfits, you can case easier. You can also spec into things that allow you to highlight certain things like cameras and guards where you can't normally if you're not in your full outfit.
So is it more stealth puzzle than shooter?
There's elements of it that are pure stealth puzzle. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
But a little bit Metal Gear Solid too, because you can kill guards. You can only kill, I think, 4 per map, and you gotta like activate their radios and then hide their bodies if you have enough body bags for it, stuff like that.
So wait, and you said there's a lot of stuff to unlock, right? Like there's a ton of stuff.
Tons of stuff. Yeah. Unlocks, customization, skins, colors, all of it. It's just
like
all
think
crazy.
Of like Call of Duty, how there's all that stuff to unlock there, and then like multiply it by like 4. Like there's just so much stuff to unlock in that game. So if you're a big fan of that, you're really gonna like playing through and progressing and leveling up your skills and everything. It's really cool.
Because what's crazy for you guys on the Switch is this game's been out for years on PC, and it started with like nothing, like a handful of maps, handful of characters.
That. Yeah, there was like nothing to it.
Yeah, really bad progression system. You get like 10 guns to pick from. Now they've added all these other things, the akimbo pistol type stuff, all these other weapons, rifles, and you're getting it all in your version as far as I can tell.
Wasn't there a point in time that they like completely revamped everything at one point?
I
remember this.
Yeah, they revamped a lot of stuff, and they even, I guess, more recently changed out. So you have a actual, I guess, home base that you have to defend occasionally. You have a crew you can customize that'll defend it for you if you're away, or you can pull them into games with you.
Can you clarify this in the chat, Evan? And I remember you were telling me about this. Somebody in the chat said Payday 2 is very cheap on the PC, but you told me that's not necessarily the case.
Depends on how you buy it. There is the complete version, which I think is like 40, 30. It fluctuates.
Yeah. But from what we're seeing, the version on the Switch has like all the content pretty much from what we're seeing, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition, I believe, is currently on sale for $17, but generally the MSRP, like if you go other places, it's like $30 generally.
Yeah, they're probably just make sure that everyone on PC has it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When no one buys it anymore, it drops in price. How it always is.
It came out like 4 or 5 years ago, though, right? On PC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Came out a little while. Riku Tag says, "I'm getting Payday, but it was free on Steam that time." That's true, which kind of makes it tough to justify. But yeah, well, here's the thing about Payday 2 on the Switch that I'm really excited for is if you are near people, that seems like the perfect way to actually play that game in LAN. Like if you go over to a friend's house or a bunch of people join up and you're in the same room with like handheld Switches, that seems so much easier to go over to a friend's house and play than to set up a bunch of TVs or computers and stuff. So that's because it's all, you can do everything locally through the air, which is really cool. It'll like ad hoc in. So that's the thing I'm actually looking forward to, is doing that. But I'll be getting it. I'll be getting it, like I said, either the 23rd, or if I for some reason can't buy it off the European store, which I think I can, I'll get it on the 27th then, I guess, when it comes out. So but did you guys
for 60? Is this
it's
full price?
50.
So in Canada it's like 100.
Oh gosh. Can't you just sign in? Does that work for you? Can you like just sign into the like a different store type and just buy it there?
I don't know, because they know, like when you sign in as the Americas, But they know that if you're in Canada, they know that you get
well, here's the thing. I can't buy from the Japanese store. What I have to do is go to Amazon and buy Japanese Nintendo cards. And that's how I buy stuff on the Japanese shop on my Switch.
But you know what? It's not that it's more expensive. It's the same thing. It's just our dollar is worth less. So even if I bought it, the American price, it's still the same. Like
that's
cost.
right. Yeah. That's a good point. But on the Switch, it's going to be 1080p in dock, 720p handheld. He said up to 1080p. We think that might be the resolution may change. But that's actually the same as the PS4 and the Xbox One, which has caught me off guard big time. I almost thought they'd come to the table and say, look, it's 720p straight up, like we've seen with a lot of this stuff. But I was honestly surprised. 1080p, that might be maybe a CPU bottleneck. Evan, you were talking about that, how the AI seems to affect the frame rate.
Because it's an infinite wave system. You're just going to have hundreds of cops constantly showing up, and it does really play wonders with your CPU at all times. So
yeah. And it's apparently everything's going to be on the cartridge. However, they've added a lot of stuff to the PC version, so it may be on the cartridge now. But in 2 years, if they continue to support it, like they might, I could see that ballooning in size to a large download at some point. With maybe a complete edition down the road, who knows? But it looks like it's gonna be fun. I would at least check it out or watch some streams before you buy it. I mean, you could technically watch people play it probably now, even on like the PC or the PS4. But it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think so. It's gonna be interesting because we don't have a lot of first-person shooters on the Switch, right? I mean, there's Doom.
It's Doom, kind of.
Yeah, so there's not like a lot. That's actually a pretty different type of first-person shooter as well. Let's jump over to Metroid. I need your help with this one, OJ. I think you can help me here.
No problem.
Metroid 4 multiplayer. Would you be able to run us through what happened here with this little discovery?
Yeah. I think I've talked about this like 3 or 4 times this week with my community. So basically, what happened is this. So originally, just find it out quick. Doctre81, another YouTuber, finds a LinkedIn profile with someone who is working at Bandai Namco and essentially describes what Metroid Prime 4 is, that they're working on that game. He says, yes, they're working on that game. Eurogamer kind of steps in and backs him up. Okay. On top of that, they update their article and say, you know what? Yes, Bandai Namco Singapore was originally the studio. Now it's being migrated over to Bandai Namco in Tokyo. That's what Eurogamer says. Doctre finds some information about an online programmer who was working at Bandai Namco Singapore and is now being migrated back to Bandai Namco Tokyo, which supports what Eurogamer was saying, and that's where all this multiplayer came up, because he says that he's working on an online project and he was working at Bandai Namco Singapore, which is the original studio that said that they were going to be doing Metroid Prime 4, and now that he's moving back there, it supports what Eurogamer's saying, so everyone's just believing these two sources on this. So that's basically the rundown of everything. Now everyone thinks that Metroid Prime 4 is likely to have multiplayer because of that developer, how he's saying that he's continuing to work on online things, and it lines up exactly with what Eurogamer's saying and what Trey found in the beginning in terms of who's working on this game. Just to give you guys just a little bit, like I said, you don't have to believe it, but just a little bit of my own 2 cents is that I actually have a separate source that says this is 100% complete, and this person has been right with multiple things. If you're in my community, you know I knew about Doom, I knew about other things that came beforehand, and that same person has told me this is true. So, like I said, you don't have to believe me, but I trust this source, and they said that they've corroborated all this information. So I'm hoping it's true. So
I think it makes sense for them to be there developing anyway. Like when I heard that, I wasn't like, oh, that's hard to believe. I believe it, to be honest, just because they let him help him develop Smash Bros. Why wouldn't they let him help him develop Metroid? You know.
It makes sense too.
Yeah. So Metroid Prime, I think makes a ton of sense to add multiplayer. It's a shooter. I think they can kind of add it in to a degree. We don't even know what the gameplay is gonna be like. We don't know how fast it's gonna be in the first place. You know. So for all we know, it could be not a slow game, but it could be a slower type of first-person shooter. Like we saw Prime 1, 2, and 3, they were all 60 frames per second, weren't they? Like really fast shooters. So I want to believe the next one will be, but maybe it won't be. Who knows? They might go in a different direction. I don't think they should personally. You never know. I think it makes sense, because how long do you think this Metroid Prime game would actually be, like from start to finish in the single player mode? I'm not really sure how long they would be able to get this one.
Prime 3 is it can be up to 20 hours depending skill. There's people that can beat it way faster, but it can be up to that. But most people can probably, a lot of people can probably beat it quicker. But they're anywhere from 10 hours to 15, usually the length. Some Metroid Primes. So Yeah, multiplayer would be a good option, I guess, in today's day, right? Multiplayer would be a good option. You know?
Let me read this out from Wishbone. He says, "Is E3 Wishbone's wish for E3 is a Battlefield 5 being in Vietnam? I would have no pants by the end of the stream. Thoughts and special rare hopes for your titles." We'll actually talk about that, Wishbone. We have an E3 section coming up. We will talk about that, Wishbone. But Battlefield, you're going to see a new Battlefield game this year. We've already heard about it. You'll probably get an announcement at E3. But OJ, you were saying the Metroid Prime on the Wii. You said it was about 20 hours.
Yeah, it can be up to that.
That's a good. I think that's a good length. Okay. So yeah. Bob is
here's
ready.
A big incentive, though, as to why multiplayer makes sense for the game. The franchise Metroid has always struggled. It's been one of the weakest IPs from Nintendo. And I love Metroid. I'm not bashing that personally.
Oh, yeah. No,
look at the sales numbers. It just doesn't sell well for whatever reason. And, you're looking at all the latest IPs where Nintendo is introducing multiplayer games like Splatoon. It's a whole new generation. It's a new time. Nintendo is seeing what's selling, what new audiences want. I firmly believe that they will go multiplayer with Metroid. And they should have done it with Star Fox Zero 2. Hopefully they do that when they port it.
I can't believe that game didn't have multiplayer. Someone told me that. I was like, I don't believe that. Then I got it. I was like, oh wow, it really doesn't.
Yeah,
and motion controls. What is this?
They made quite a number of mistakes, but I do think
it.
another problem with Metroid, I personally feel, is that people look at the game and the backtracking and the way that the game is set, people dislike that. There's people that hardcore love it, but there are so many people out there that do not like the structure of Metroid in terms of backtracking, and that's how, like, okay, you get this one thing and you have to go back and do this. Now, like I said, I don't have a problem with it, but a lot of people think that's tedious. It's not like you don't have any customization, you don't have any like armor upgrades, you don't have any of the things that people like that a lot. You see in a lot of games, like let's say Borderlands or something like that. Let's say something like these different shooters that come out. It might be more single player type of story driven. Metroid doesn't have any of that. So I think the design choices that they've made also lend to it basically only catering to that same small group. If they change some things up, if they add a little bit more depth, I think that it could become more popular along with multiplayer, but we'll see what they do,
Sure. I mean, but the thing about multiplayer is it's a way to take what's a single player game generally with Metroid, but actually make it really last forever at that point, because people could be dumping hours and hours and hours into multiplayer. And this is actually a perfect topic for Sean. Of course, he's not here this week because he said he spent tons of time in Metroid Hunters, I think he said.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
He
often talks about it.
Yeah, he's like, I spent so much time in that game, and I could see the Switch version of Metroid Prime 4 just getting so much like gameplay from just the multiplayer aspect. Some people might not even play the single player. They might just jump into the multiplayer.
It would be full circle. I always saw Metroid Prime as Nintendo's answer to Halo, the Halo series, based on roughly timing and all that. But, it never picked off because of multiplayer.
Yeah, and honestly, if you have multiplayer aspects to it, you might have friends that have a Switch. They're like, "Hey, get Metroid so we can play multiplayer together." Mm-hmm. Yeah, people will probably jump in and not even. They might try the single player as an afterthought at some point, just if the multiplayer takes off, and maybe they somehow get into esports or something. It seems to be like Nintendo keeps looking at esports like that, so you never know.
they look at esports from a very
they're still very distant,
very distant. Like, okay, you guys have fun, kids. Like they look at it literally like that. Like they don't. Usually what getting into esports means is paying money, right?
Sure.
Supporting. Mm-hmm. And Nintendo just seems to want, they'll pay like a venue fee for something. They might sponsor like a venue fee for like a big Smash Brothers tournament, but it seems like they don't really want to get too much into it. And when they do, everything's like not for money, whether it's their ARMS tournaments or Splatoon, so.
Yeah, they definitely seem really hands-off, which was pretty cool because Capcom's kind of been that way for a while, and their CEO just put out, I don't know if you saw that letter, OJ, where he said that they are going to refocus on it heavily this year.
Well, they have the Capcom Cup, which is big-time money, but
they're adding to it. Like, that's his thing. He seems to be pushing it more, and especially in Japan, since for some reason it hasn't taken off in their home country much.
Their laws against they call it gambling, but I guess they're getting some type of license to where people can now make some money. But yeah, I mean, I did see that with the Capcom CEO. He also apologized for Marvel vs. Capcom too, right? Well,
subtly, but yes.
Subtle, okay, yeah.
For Nintendo's theme, though, Jay, you're saying they don't take it seriously, but I think we're going to see Nintendo change strategy in the next year or two. And this is based on stuff I can't necessarily disclose, but we've seen Nintendo approach their marketing, their games as very family friendly, especially during the Wii U days. The Switch, you're going to see that change. You're seeing that change already, but you're going to see it in full force in the next year or two, where it's no longer the families. It's going to be us, this demographic right here.
Oh, definitely. I just wanted to know if they're going to be able to, like at least with like add to pop bonuses, things like that. I mean, like you see like Arc System Works like add in money for like
for sure,
gear, things like that. I just didn't know if they were going to, kind of jump into that realm, with esports and all that. I mean, I see the marketing that's changing. I see a lot of stuff that's changing. They're definitely doing that. So we'll see.
Wulff and Bob is fixing his webcam. So people were in the chat were asking. He'll be here in a bit. He already has the link and everything. He'll probably just randomly pop in. So, I think Metroid. I just want to see Metroid's gameplay at this point. But I expect I mean, it's going to come not a few months, but 6-7 months after this online service is probably installed. So it makes sense. I mean, put it out there and hopefully it's a full multiplayer. It's not something that feels that was one of your concerns, right, OJ, is that it feels like something that's just kind of tacked on.
Yeah, it feels like a Metroid Prime 2, like that. That's what I don't want it to feel like. And even, I mean, Metroid Hunters I think there was more limitations with the system than the actual.
Absolutely.
Than the actual, but I mean, it's not like it had bad content for a DS game, online multiplayer game. But it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Sean's in the chat. Look at him.
Is he?
I think he's probably on his phone.
There he is.
Sean, are you stuck in this now?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you started driving, dude, good luck. You might be stuck somewhere. It's bad outside right now, so it's drive slow. That's the one thing. Someone else just asked before we move on from Metroid. He's popping in to say, do you think Metroid Prime Trilogy will get an HD Switch port? I hope so. Like, I mean, Bayonetta got a kind of a port, right? So, you don't leave till 7 a.m. You're fine. It's gonna be melting by tomorrow. It's gonna be like 50 degrees tomorrow here. I feel like they will. I mean, they'll do a Metroid trilogy. I feel like, right? Bring Prime over.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
I have no comment.
It's because you know what's happening. Yeah,
I just don't want to. I have no comment. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know.
Yeah, somehow I feel like I'm going to be buying and paying an extra $100 for a special edition for Metroid Prime Trilogy.
You think you do that after they gave it for $10 on the Wii U?
Yeah. I'm a sucker for Metroid and special editions. Bob, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Very good. You're in.
Bob, it's so black where you are.
I know. I put up. It's like the ugliest background in the world, so I put up like a sheet.
Is it just like your entire room behind you? Is that what's behind you?
Yeah, like we have. Well, first of all, we're in a basement.
Got a basketball hoop back there, man.
I know, right? First of all, we're in a basement and it floods all the time, so the whole base is being gutted.
Yeah.
But we have our set in like a corner, and this desk faces the ugly part.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, this is like the stream area. How all you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good. Yeah. What do you been playing this week before you can jump into the topics with us?
Owlboy, because I never played that before.
Oh, you didn't play that? That's a great game.
No, I didn't play it when it first came out, so I'm excited to play it now, and it's really good. And Monster Hunter, and I don't know why I like Monster Hunter. But
you don't like it that much?
I don't know why I like it. I'm like into it and I've been playing it, but it like frustrates the hell out of me. But for some reason, I keep thinking about it when I'm not playing it and wanting to play more of it.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Those are pretty brutal.
Yeah. I played it, but I had to put it down, and then I haven't been able to get back to it yet. I still haven't played Dragon Ball Fighters, and I have that too. So, and I Bayonetta. Like I have all these games I haven't had a chance to play yet.
There's a ton of games. I got Dragon Ball Fighters as well, and I streamed it once. And my brother's been yelling at me like, "Why don't you play more?" I'm like, "Why don't you?" Because he bought it for me. So
dude, I'm obligated to play it.
Like my inbox is full of so many games, and I'm like, I don't think I can get to any of these. These are like all indie games. All indie games. That's the problem. All these indie games come to the Switch, and like they're more than happy to send out codes to everyone. So it's like there's all these codes that just pop up. But Monster Hunter is good. I need to go back to that. It's just Monster Hunter, man. When you dive in, you dive into the deep end. It's like it's done.
I never got that craze.
Really?
It's the one game I returned.
Oh, wow.
Really? You didn't fall for it.
Sorry?
I said you didn't fall for it.
No, I tried. Everyone was going crazy. There's a big community on Nintendo enthusiasts that are just in love with the game. I think it got a 10 out of 10 on Nintendo enthusiasts. This is an older one. So I bought it, played for like an hour. I was like, I can't get into this. Returned it. Got Wonderful 101 instead.
I'm kind of the same way, man. I've tried to get into Monster Hunter for years. I even starting from the PlayStation. like with the PS2, I tried to get into it. I was just like,
Still can't do it.
Yeah, and I tried to play. I tried to play all of them. I tried to play Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii, like on the Wii, then the Wii U, and then the 3DS. I've tried so many times. I've had people come in. Some guy hit me into the air, and I was like, "Hey, look at that!" I was just like, "Okay, I think I'm done. Like, I just can't. I can't get it. I mean, I might buy the PC version just to get. I might try to give it one more go.
Just don't give up, do you?
I'll just try. Everyone says it's so good. Everyone always says it's so good, and I want to get into it, but it's just I don't know, man.
The thing, like I first played it on the 3DS and I didn't like it, but for some reason that was another one. For some reason, I kept trying over and over again to like it because I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't get into it. And this one, everybody was just talking about it and it looked good, so I tried it. And I have the same exact problems with this that I have with the 3DS version, but for some reason I can't explain it. I keep going back to it.
It's like Hawaiian pizza. You know, some people love Hawaiian pizzas. Others, they'll never love it.
Those pineapples, man. I don't like the texture of the pineapples on my pizza.
Put green olive with the pineapples. Somehow it's magic. I did it by accident. It's magic.
Not for your Canadian tricks here.
That's
I don't want to hear about this, okay?
So there's 1,000 people in here, so be very careful. Do not hit that like button. I don't want us to get it. If we get on trending, well, Evan's got to do something. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm still not sure myself.
Start thinking, Evan, because...
We're all gonna take our shirts off.
Yeah. Let's so don't hit that like button. Please don't do that. Kingdom Hearts. Did you guys all see the D23 event, or at least the trailer or any information about it?
I did. Yeah.
You did. Okay. Is everyone looking forward to Kingdom Hearts, or is there people in here that's not Kingdom Hearts people?
Me, I'm not.
Who said that?
I'm not a Kingdom Hearts.
You haven't played any of them, or is it just because the plot is just so bad at this point? It's just it's all over the place.
I've never played any of them.
Wow.
I was never. I guess when it first came out, I wasn't a PlayStation guy.
What kind of guy were you then? If you didn't run a PlayStation guy,
but when did it come out? Even the first Kingdom Hearts,
2002,
2003. It was pretty because they also got the second one out. In 2005 is when the second one came out. So it had to be.
I was probably a GameCube guy around then.
I had a GameCube as well. Yeah. But I went back and played them.
It was almost impossible not to be a PlayStation guy. I mean, at least in some, there was just too many games that were exclusive to, like, it was just insane amount of games.
I was late. I was late to PlayStation 2 in that era.
I actually was too, believe it or not. I remember I got the PS2 after I had the Xbox. The PS2 was the last system I had, but the first game I bought for the PS2 was Kingdom Hearts 1. And I played through that. I played through that game in a weekend. I was done. You know, because that's when you're younger, no responsibilities or anything. You know, I was just blast right through that game. Loved it. And then I get the second one, and we actually had to put our 360 that we just bought down for a while because we had to play that. That game came out after the 360 came out. So I love the second one too. The second one was, I think, better than the first one. But if you haven't played them and you want to just try them out, honestly, the PS4 collection is actually pretty good.
Isn't it like 1,000,000 hours long?
No, actually, no. You can actually get through Kingdom Hearts pretty quick, believe it or not. If you don't want to be a completionist, I don't think each one's that long. I mean, I can look it up.
It's like a 25-hour RPG.
Yeah, 20 hours.
Really reasonable.
It's like a Chrono Trigger style of RPG. Like you can just kind of just go through and maybe do just minimal battles. Like you don't have to grind. And you
guys are talking 20 hours like that's not a lot.
It's not,
dude. I beat
RPGs,
but it's a lot.
It's not like Breath of the Wild.
Do you want to see my Xenoblade 2 gameplay right now?
I know, seriously.
I'm like 116 hours in that thing right now.
I'm also not an RPG guy. I got a lot of crap for that too.
But that's more of an action RPG though. It's not as much like you don't stand still or anything and do it. You're swinging, your keyblade around and everything. And the second one, I argue, is almost more like an action game than anything else.
It's definitely RPG though. It's definitely RPG. If you like, it's definitely RPG. But yeah, it's definitely more action. It's not like you're just standing still and you attack the person, turn-based type of deal, or like Fire Emblem. There's a grid on the map. So it's not like that hardcore.
Like Final Fantasy 15 a little bit.
Yeah.
So on how long to beat, it says main story after polling 200 something people, 27 hours for the main story. Rushed is just under 20 hours if you just rush through it real quick. So it's not the longest. I assume the second one's probably longer because I think they had more in it.
It's charming too because there's a bunch of nostalgia with your Final Fantasy characters, your Disney characters. So it's fun to go through.
Yeah. Because they have Cloud, Sephiroth, they're all in there. Squall.
Yeah, don't try
all
to
these guys are in there.
Then I'll take you to 50 hours.
Yeah, good game. I mean, if you ever look into it, I think it's worth playing just for fun. But the story, don't even try to understand that.
There's also a 3DS game, Bob. If you're, there's a Dream Drop Distance, which isn't bad. I think it's a pretty good game. What?
I return that one too. I can't play that on.
You can get that on Kingdom Hearts 2.8 though.
Yeah, that's true. You can get it 2.8. Yeah. So
I think you can get everything on the PS4. I'm trying to think if I'm trying to think if what's on there, the one for the PSP. Which one is that? I had it and then I just drew a blank. The PSP version.
Birth by Sleep.
Thank you. Yes, that is the other one that's like really important to the story. It goes like first, second, in that one. Apparently, you just play those 3 and you're good. But that is, if you play all 3 of those, you're probably going to spend probably about 60 to 70 hours there.
You just spend too much time. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It sounds like a hole that I could fall into very easily.
I mean, you're already in that monster hole, man. That's tough to dig out of that.
I know.
You're not climbing out of that one.
The big thing on Kingdom Hearts, Bob, is that they show a bunch of worlds that you go to as Sora and you change shape or outfits and stuff depending on where you are. But in this case, they announced the Monsters Inc. world, so people got really excited for that. More artwork came out. They showed someone who had like a car key as a blade. It's looking interesting, but do you guys think it is coming out in 2018? Because they're sticking to it right now. We haven't heard an actual release date, but they say it's 2018.
Is this the first year we've heard from them?
There's 2 Evans. Sorry.
There was Toy Story last year that they revealed Toy Story last year.
Why is there 2 Evans?
There's 2 Evans.
Freaking Google or something's messing with me tonight. It keeps kicking me out of chat and it's pissing me off.
From another dimension.
You got business Evan and then normal Evan. You got podcast Evan and business Evan.
We heard about Kingdom Hearts. We've heard about Kingdom Hearts for a while now. They even showed gameplay from forever ago when they told us it's going to be on Unreal Engine 4.
Oh, with the Titan, yeah.
But is this the first year is this the first release year window that we've heard?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we heard it last year, right? When was that? What event was that? That wasn't D23 again, was it? What was that?
It was, yeah. It felt like it was around this time.
It's always been 2018.
Just until recently, like D20. That's right, because at E3 they told us, they were like, "We'll tell you more information at D23," which was later on the year. That was like November, right, or something? Am I thinking right? But then they told us 2018, so we've known 2018 for about 4 months now. They're just kind of sticking with it still. So we don't know a month though. We don't know when. I'm thinking maybe November. But that's going to sell massively, and it's on the Xbox, strangely. So there you go. I don't know why.
John, you have a few super chats going on, eh?
As Super Gaming said, Kingdom Hearts sounds like a tuned in just in time. The fan base for Kingdom Hearts is massive, by the way. People love that game. That series.
That I know.
Yes, I remember in middle school, so many people. That was the first time I've ever seen real, actual, like in-person fan art, because people in my class were all drawing Kingdom Hearts stuff. It was a big deal then when it first came out. But I'm gonna say November. That's what I'm thinking it's gonna come out. But let's move on.
I'm not holding my breath on it. They
Really?
like to tease. They like to tease.
If that thing falls 2019, people are going to be mad. Like,
They don't
really
care.
mad.
Remember Final Fantasy 7? Remember Final Fantasy 15?
I think Final Fantasy 7 is being held up because of Kingdom Hearts. I think they want Kingdom Hearts out first, then they'll get to Final Fantasy 7. I think is what's happening.
Remember when
But it's already been like 5 years though since they announced Kingdom Hearts. It's been 5 years plus since they.
That was supposed to be on the PS3 originally.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that on the PS3 at one point.
Oh, before the announcement. Before their E3 announcement, they were talking about PS3. But then, like it's, I'm not a big fan of Nomura. I think he's a great character artist, but I'm just not a huge fan of his game directing style, because this is the type of stuff that happens when he's.
Well, that's why they moved the Final Fantasy Mobius director in for Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Because this guy couldn't get it done. He keeps like losing attention and like going off to the next thing.
Didn't he find out he was directing it from the trailer? He saw his name in the trailer and he was like, "Oh, I'm directing the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Oh my god!"
I remember.
Yes, there was a story about that. Yeah.
That's really fun. That's how disjointed. That should tell you all you need to know right there. That's how disjointed the thing is. You figure you should call him up and be like, "Your name's in this trailer because you're directing."
Well, Nintendo did that with Sakurai too, with Smash Bros. Wii U. We've got Smash Brothers and Sakurai. So really,
there was no question. He doesn't get to say anything. He just has to go back to the shed and make another Smash Bros.
Sakurai's watching E3, hanging out. All of a sudden,
oh shit! I gotta work.
let's. Do you guys want to talk a bit about E3 because we saw some floor plans for E3? I don't know if you guys saw this at all. Yes.
Shocking floor plans.
Yeah. Nintendo and Sony, big booths right across the aisle from each other, very similar to last year actually. And then the one thing that people were really freaking out about was Microsoft's booth. Looks like the T-Mobile booth at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
The really tiny one in the aisle. So people were kind of freaking out. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to be offsite like last year, where they just rent out a massive building and do this big thing there. Because it's probably going to be a lot of third-party games again, I think. Crackdown will be there. Forza will be there, I guess.
I don't know.
But I think they're going to rely, I guess, mostly on third-party games is all I can think of.
I'm worried about Microsoft. And
Really?
This is a bad sign.
Okay.
Well, give me one. Okay, other than that $10 a month plan, give me like one reason to think Microsoft's in a good spot for the next 2-3 years. Like they've just been fumbling over and over this generation.
Yeah, what's crazy is
I just don't think they care about their games division anymore.
I don't think they care about their console. I think they care about having a singular place to buy games from Windows and whatever box they put out. I feel like if they could, they wouldn't make the Xbox anymore, and they would charge Windows people an online fee like Xbox Live. That's like the dream scenario, but I think they're trying to get there. I think that's their end goal, and they're trying to figure out how to get there.
I think you're right about that. I think Microsoft would honestly be cool if they just said like we can be like a Steam 2.0. If that would be like the ultimate goal for them, just to do everything digital. But I just think that they're more worried, like kind of just like more worried about just Windows. Like, you know, how can we provide to the president of the company or to the CEO that this is valuable, that this whole thing that we're doing, that we're spending is valuable, that we need to have it. And you can put that in your statistics of Xbox Live statistics numbers. That's why they've moved away from actually telling us numbers and just more about statistics. This many people are on our servers. This many people are this. And like, you know, they can monetize that with their ads and things. So I think it's more about just the brand than it is actually like how much they sell and everything. Otherwise, they'd still be giving us numbers. Otherwise, they went last year with, how many first party games did they have last year?
Not a lot, I don't think. What, they had Forza,
They had like Halo Wars or something like that.
Yeah, Halo Wars 2. Forza. I'm trying to think of anything else really.
What's that one that they re-release? It screwed up the first time. No, in August.
Record. Like you use like cards. Or Record was 2016, wasn't it?
But then they re-released it in August as a definitive.
Okay.
The fact that we're struggling, tells you everything you need to know.
That's true. I mean, Crackdown was supposed to come out.
Yeah. So they have just so few that I just don't think that they care too much. I mean, I think that they're going to get a budget and they're going to do some things at this year's E3. I think they're going to have some new stuff. We heard about the rumor, right? A new Fable.
New Fable game. Heard about that. Yep, that'd be cool. But here's the thing. I think this new Fable is an Xbox 2 launch title.
No.
I mean, what do you think? It's in early development. When do you think it's going to come out?
Well, I mean, but don't you think it would be like a dual release?
Oh, I think it'll work on the Xbox One, I guess. But then what's the point of the Xbox 2? That's my thing. I don't really know what the point of the Xbox 2 is if you're making games still for the Xbox One. Maybe they put them on both, but you're still working within the confines of that old system. You know, it's like that's so tough. I don't know.
Maybe it's a 29. Maybe it's a 2 year development of the game, 2.5 year development.
But maybe? It's Playground's working on it, the team that makes like Forza.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much they want to push them along like that, but I feel like that's a good game to have for the first year of the Xbox 2, I think.
I mean, I wouldn't be complaining. I mean, because I'm a huge fan. I know you're a big Fable fan, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Love Fable. Yeah. Hey, did not like Fable 3? Like Fable 1, like Fable 2?
Nobody likes Fable 3. Nobody likes Fable. It's just not very good. He was basically off his deep end. At that point, he was off at the deep end. But I mean, I'm a big Fable fan. So, I mean, if they do Xbox 2, that's great. If they do Xbox One X or Xbox One S, that's fine. I'll pick it up on whatever they want to release it.
Real quick, Gintoki Cruz makes a joke, says it's been E3 for many years, where it's E4. I don't really know why they named it E3 back in the day. I know it was Electronic Expo, but Jason, do you know why they named it E3?
Electronic Entertainment Expo.
There you go. Threes. That makes sense. Okay, there you go. You have to add another E if you have E4. Yeah. Very good.
It's eccentric at E4.
I feel like right now, this is an interesting situation. I think Microsoft is in the position that Nintendo was in with the Wii U a while ago, where a lot of the games that came out the first year of the Switch were in development 3 years ago. I think Microsoft's in a position now where they're just developing stuff for their next system.
Wow. Well, the difference is if Nintendo doesn't develop good games, they're out of business. If Xbox doesn't develop good games, Microsoft lives on.
Yeah, they just that's how big Microsoft really is.
They have full third-party support. They have almost full. I mean, not Japanese developers are kind of leaving, but full Western support.
But it's an American company, so what do they care? They just want to own the United States. That's all they want, really. I mean, they want to own the world, but they want the United States and Europe, I guess, really.
They're getting destroyed in Europe right now, but it's still
Canada.
Yeah, they're getting absolutely hammered in Europe. It's actually pretty bad for them, but America, they're doing really strong. America's strong, so
yeah. So it's the PS4 and the Xbox margin's actually closer than you'd think in the United States. It's very interesting. It's actually not that far apart.
It didn't start that way.
No, we all like disavowed like knowledge of Microsoft back then when they when they put Phil Spencer in charge. I think that was a good move, and I think that's really helped them. Because their old management was very poor, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting though is we're getting to a point where they were trying to be at the beginning of this generation where it's always online and stuff like that, because we're doing service-based games now. So, they will have Sea of Thieves this year.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves.
So that's actually a really fun game. I will say that. But if you have PC, just get on PC.
I've seen some people streaming it. It looks like perfect Twitch game. Like
Evan plays it constantly.
And the fact that you can get at that $10 price point, I think that might snowball into something.
And the new testing they're running shows a lot more to the game than what the old one did. It's actually pretty cool.
Yep. I actually have Game Pass. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I don't have to spend $60 now on that. And OG, I did look into it because you and I were both confused about this. I thought too that you need Xbox Live. Apparently, you don't need Xbox Live for Game Pass. No, so I was a little surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. Well, I mean, you needed to play Sea of Thieves, obviously, but like there are a lot of single player games on there too. So I was surprised.
But if you want to play games online, you still need Xbox Live, even if you have Game Pass. Oh, okay, I thought you said something. Okay,
no, it's like if you want to get the single, like there are a lot of single player games on there and stuff. Like the first game I downloaded from there was Ninja Gaiden Black for the original Xbox. So
on there?
You want to put yourself through that again,
dude? I love that struggle, man. That was the best kind of struggle.
Oh no, we can't.
I can't even beat level 1 on the Ninja Gaiden one on Wii U.
I've beat Ninja Gaiden Black. I love Ninja Gaiden. Okay, I've beaten many of the games. I've even beat those stupid games on the NES. I hate those games.
Really? Wow, that's impressive.
No, it's not impressive. I died 5 million times. It's not impressive at all.
I never beat the original. I have the original on the NES, and I couldn't. I couldn't get past like level 6.
I'm not talking the NES on the original. I mean, I'm talking like play it through emulation and like save my state.
Save state. Yeah. Oh man, that's fake. Man, you're a fake. You can't say you beat it.
They're hard. It's hard to beat it even that way. It's hard.
It's got to be a ninja.
Not even easy.
We're almost at the top of the hour. Bob jumped in the middle when we were talking. Let me jump over to Bob though, so you can tell them what you're doing on YouTube, where they can find you and everything. While we have a bunch of people here.
YouTube.com/WolffDen, WULFFDEN. You were in my video 2 weeks ago.
The D-pad video.
Yes, we were talking about these 8-bit Duke controllers, and you talked about your little D-pad mod that you did on your Joy-Con over there, because I definitely did not want to do that.
No,
that looks like a major pain in the ass.
It takes like 17 minutes, I think.
17 minutes, yeah.
You didn't watch? Did you see my video where I timed it?
Yes, I did.
Takes me 17 minutes to change them.
That's insane, because when I did just the case on my Joy-Cons to get the gold ones, it took me like probably 17 hours because I broke 2 of them.
No, when I was taking them apart, I was like, if people have never taken this stuff apart at all are going to hate taking apart the Joy-Cons. They're so small and they're not intimidating from the outside. But when you get those things open, you just get really terrified right away.
Yeah, I used to take apart iPhones and stuff, and this was like,
you should be fine then.
Oh my God, it was not fine. So many little things that break. Mm-hmm. I broke the biggest problem was on the right trigger. I broke the little switch off of it. I don't know how the hell I did that.
Oh man,
I was trying to snap it back into place, and the switch just popped right off.
So did you? That was just done then.
Yeah, I broke 2 Joy-Cons.
Oh man,
doing that. It was the worst.
No. Oh man,
I was $80 in the hole.
I was soldering my Joy-Con in the first week. Just soldering stuff to it. Hey man, it worked.
You are a god.
Yes. Nintendo kind of alluded to it in my video in one of their press releases, which was kind of funny.
What did they say?
They said, we know stuff's been going around about people fixing the Joy-Cons because of this, that, and the other. We're going to start fixing them for free, and that's when they started putting the foam in them.
Oh,
Yeah, that's when they started sending out the foam and stuff. I saw a press release. I was like,
What's wrong with
That's
him?
awesome.
I missed the part there.
Oh, when their Joy-Con originally came out, there were issues. I remember Game Explain made a video where the Joy-Con could be interrupted if there was
the disconnection.
Yeah. So I soldered a wire into it. This was like during the first week. I opened it up because I took apart everything just to show everybody about like what was in the Switch and everything. And I took it apart and I realized that I could actually extend the antenna away from the metal shielding. I did that and it worked really well.
That video of yours got a lot of press, I think.
Yeah, that was on it was on CNN, it was on Yahoo, It was on the No talked about it. It was on like everything. So I know Nintendo saw it. I know they saw it. But it's ever getting Doctor on the stream? Yeah, I don't mind. Anyway, I really don't mind. Anyone come on the stream. I don't really care. I'm pretty good about that. Let me go through here. What's next for Spyro? Can we talk about Spyro? Not about Spyro Remaster.
Yes, please.
That I think is happening. So Eurogamer put out a rumor that says that there will be some sort of Spyro Remaster next month. It's going to be announced next month and then come out later on Q3. It's going to have, according to them, Spyro the Dragon, Ripto's Rage, and Year of the Dragon. Does anybody have any experience with Spyro from back in the day or even recently?
Yes. I used to play a lot when I went over to my friend's house. We used to play Spyro all the time, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a nice alternative to kind of like just kind of different. Bless you, just kind of different from what I had played before. And back then, it was just amazing. So I'm really excited and looking forward to it. Hopefully, if it does come,
Yeah.
So.
We're hoping. I mean, we really are because I'm hoping it gets that Crash Bandicoot treatment because the Crash game, the Insane Trilogy, was great. So I'm looking forward to it. What about
It would make a lot of sense for them to do that.
Did you play any of them back in the day, Bob? The Spyro games?
Not outside of the kiosk at the Sears. So the first level, that's about it.
Nice. Hey man, so that's all you need.
Yeah. But no, I mean, they know that Crash, that remaster did really well. So they want to capitalize on that, especially because Skylanders, all the Toys to Life games are kind of falling out. So they need to revive Spyro a little bit.
Charlie asked us if would you or any of the guys ever want to interview indie developers? I think
always.
I think most of us wouldn't mind doing that.
I've got a beautiful sign back here. I used to have an indie show, Corner.
Indie Corner was awesome back in the Wii U days because that was all we could look forward to.
Keep on playing indie. Yeah, there was no games to play, so you'd watch my show.
His show was awesome. But yeah, I think I've interviewed indie developers before. The guys who make Snow Castle games, the guys who make Earthlock.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I interviewed them back in the day. I interviewed a guy from Rare who made Sea of Thieves, and before then he was making, at the time they had Rare Replay there back, I think in E3 2014. So anytime I get an opportunity that I can interview a developer or someone, I would love to.
Yeah. I don't really. I think I interviewed the Brainwave developer Andrew. Or the CEO. He's pretty cool. But no one else really. Now I think about it. I don't know. I don't really. I some of the questions I ask aren't that interesting. I'd be like, how much money did it take to make your game?
They're not going to tell you.
How much money do you personally make?
Yeah. What's that paycheck looking like?
What are your taxes like? Can I see your W-2?
I asked about Sea of Thieves, and he was just like, "We can't talk about that." I was like, "Come on."
Not indie related, but one E3 I got to interview the CEO of Big Red Button, the studio behind Sonic Boom.
Damn.
And this was before it came out, but the demo was a clear sign of what the game would be like. And I was like, oh, shit, what am I going to ask this guy? It wasn't planned. I didn't book an appointment. I walked by the booth and they're like, you're media? I was like, yeah. And then they're like, all right, you can interview the CEO. I was like, oh, shit, what am I going to ask this guy? Like, I just played the game. I'm like,
you should have just been like, so your game's terrible. Why is that?
And he's like selling on it. So I'm like, okay, what interesting angle can I come up? So I found out that they actually had to hack. I think it was playing on the Unreal Engine, if I remember correctly. And they had to hack what's that?
CryEngine.
CryEngine, yeah. So they had to actually go and make custom code so that it would support the split screen between the Wii U, which was an interesting story. So like I played that angle, and we just kind of stepped away from the rest, hoping it would be debugged. By
you mean from the game itself?
From the whole game itself. Yes.
Let's talk about the CryEngine.
Yeah.
That was like a last minute change for them, right? Like Sega was like, nah, it's got to be on the Wii U. Too bad. And CryEngine wasn't made for the Wii U.
That's insane. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of That's
And it was a new studio too. Big Red Button had just formed as a new studio.
Wow, that's interesting. Who said that in the chat? Who said that in the chat? Did you see that? Oh, we're trending because you guys keep hitting that like button. I tell you not to. Oh man. That's it then. All right, we're gonna end this. We're trending. Yeah. No. So Spyro, we're expecting it. It's gonna get probably that remaster. I assume it's gonna be $40, like Crash, maybe $40.
Crash
Yeah,
was 40.
I'm thinking 40. But we also found out that Crash, more than likely, from what we're seeing, I mean, we kind of figured, right? It's a timed exclusive. And it's probably going to the Switch and the PC. Maybe it was weird the Xbox wasn't named. That's weird. I figured
it's gonna happen.
It's easy, right? It's already on the PS4. It's moving to the PC. It's like put on the Xbox, basically, right? Why not?
You know?
Yeah.
So Spyro before Crash.
Really?
That's one purchase I regret. I never played Crash before in the original, so I got the remaster because it was selling so well. Played it, like the controls are terrible. I don't understand why Crash is so popular.
It's because it was great back then, but it does not translate at all.
Everybody did not age well at all.
Everybody's asking for a new Crash game. The last Crash game came out in 2012, and nobody cared because it's not a game by today's standard. It's not a good game by.
Well, you saw part of the rumor that there's apparently a new Crash game coming out next year.
I'm not surprised because the other one did so good, but it's not going to be good. I'm sorry, everybody.
I actually think Spyro is better than Crash.
Absolutely.
To be honest, so I'm actually looking forward to that if that happens. It's going to be a 1 year. It's going to be a 1 year PlayStation exclusive, and then it's going to go probably to everything else. Yeah, Sony, I guess, is buying this marketing. They're doing something to get this. And that's you got to play the game. That's how it goes. So not surprising. Noah King, thank you. Love Spawnwave. I like Spawnwave too. He's a good guy. I've heard of him. Cool. So let's move on. What else we got here? Do you guys see THQ Nordic? Also, can someone tell me how to say coach? Is that how you say it?
I think it's Koch.
Koch. Okay, I just want to make sure I got it right because I said it. People said
I said coach. I said coach, but maybe it's Koch. But Koch kind of sounded like crotch, so I was like, maybe that's wrong. Like, I didn't know
I'm not the same company, but Koch Entertainment turned into E1 Entertainment, and my brother used to work for them 5 years ago. So they called it Koch.
Okay, we'll go with Koch then. Okay. I was trying to. We're trying to play it safe here with. Yeah, we're trying to play it safe here with YouTube, man.
It's very close to something else.
Well, because they sense your voice, and then it could be demonetized based on that. Like if you're saying crotch.
If you just talk, we get demonetized. I think it's just your voice that demonetizes video.
Don't believe.
I don't need to repeat it last week.
There's a couple of pronunciations like Coke and Kosh.
I'm already not getting a review code for Ridge Racer now because of last week.
That gets brought up in every live stream, by the way. All of my live streams, that gets brought up every single time. At least one time.
Max doesn't realize it, but he created an internet meme just from that. It's never going away. Man. All right, so so they bought THQ Nordic bought we're going with Koch Media, $149 million. Acquisition includes Deep Silver, Saints Row, Dead Island, Metro, and a couple others actually in there. They're also getting the publishing rights for Shenmue 3, and all that's going to be under THQ Nordic. Now, Evan, you talked a bit about THQ Nordic, right? Because they originally were just Nordic Games. They buy kind of like the scraps of THQ, including their actual name.
Yeah, they basically slap it in front of it. I don't think they bought the name. I just think they rebranded themselves.
Well, they bought the ability to use, I think, THQ, like the little bit that was left from them. Like I think they also got the Darksiders IP and everything. And now they flipped it. They buy everything back essentially that the old THQ had, and include Deep Silver, which is actually a pretty big acquisition.
Did they get Mighty Number 9 then?
Anything that Deep Silver has contracts for now, yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how many Mighty Number 9 sell? Like one a month or something like that?
I think that Mighty Number 9 might belong to Keiji Inafune, and they just did a deal for the publishing of it. So I'm not sure if they own the actual IP Mighty Number 9.
No, it's publishing. Just like they're going to do the publishing for Shenmue 3, but they don't actually own the rights for it, but they're publishing it, so they'll get, whatever their cut is there. But this is interesting because now THQ Nordic has a lot of IPs under their umbrella. So they're kind of turning into almost another Ubisoft almost, looking at them. It's very interesting to see this. It's like a rise of another big third-party company that will probably put out yearly content. Like seriously, I can see them putting out 6-7 games a year.
I think they're there because if you get Saints Row, you get what was it, Dead Island, Saints Row, Dead Island, and Metro.
Yeah, Dead Island 2
Metro,
coming out.
with the new Metro coming up, and they just Deep Silver also just released Kingdom Come, which has its problems, but I mean it's been pretty enjoyable.
Sold over 500,000 copies already.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's quite a number of IPs, like big, graphics type of IPs that Western gamers are going to buy. Despite Deep Silver, despite having a few issues here and there, their games actually do really well. Dead Island did really well. They've had stuff that does really well for them. So I would expect, them to just continue plugging on here. So.
I'm a little surprised they were able to buy them for 100. I didn't know they had that much money like laying around to buy them. $149 million seems like a lot for THQ Nordic.
But I think it's for what you get. I think it's potentially could be a gold mine because you could sell. I mean, any of those franchises, those can be all 4 or 5 million sellers. With the install bases now, those can all be huge.
Metro's going to sell a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think Dead Island can do really well too. Like they just have to get things together with they need to pull it together, and that can do really well. Yeah,
because the second one for that's coming out. I feel like it's either coming out this year or the next, right? Dead Island 2.
So there's been issues. They changed developers. There's been multiple issues. I don't know how well the quality of the game is, but if they scrap things, then kind of try it over because it's kind of like a Borderlands type of deal, but like with zombies, it's kind of.
They're doing Biomutant too, aren't they? Or is that someone else? Are they doing Biomutant?
That's THQ Nordic, yeah.
Yeah. So they have a lot of games coming out.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting.
The stock prices are rising. Everybody get in.
Yeah, they're gonna get. I think they'll actually get pretty big because I think a lot of the games they're not really taking a lot of chances on like boring games, I guess, or like niche games. They're definitely like Biomutant's like a hack and slash style game that'll probably do well. Darksiders has the name that'll probably do well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. This is interesting. People I think have been sleeping on THQ Nordic for a while, but they're gonna be a big player. I think in the next couple of years, especially going into the next generation. Yeah,
I think it was a steal for 149. I think that's a steal for all of the IPs that you get and what you could potentially do. Like if you just get some good coaching going on, like get the teams together and make sure that they can just make something. Because like those games, none of them are like, I hate to use this term, but none of them are like super like people aren't expecting them to be like Grand Theft Auto or anything like that, or expecting like the ratings to be like in the 90s. They just have to be like in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like those games were never in the 90s, and like they always do. Saints Row, for example, that sold ridiculously well. The last Saints Row. So I just feel that I think it was a steal in my opinion. But what
they should do is take Saints Row 1 and 2 and remaster them and put them on all the systems on one.
Oh, absolutely. That would do really well.
Yeah, that would be. I would love that. Like, because it's old enough from the 360 and the PS3 that go to all the new systems, probably with better visuals and probably a higher frame rate pretty easily. And I would love to see that on everything, including the Switch, including the PC and Xbox, PS4. But they have a lot of stuff they can do now. It's very interesting to see them kind of growing very quickly too. They were founded, I think, in 2013, 2014.
I thought it was just more recently, wasn't it?
It was very recent. I thought, THQ Nordic, like they just showed up, boom, get what was left of THQ, and then buy up what was left of THQ, I guess, kind of.
What's weird is that in time they've secretly like dropped things. I know Titan Quest got a re-release, which I think they picked up, and that even had an expansion to it. I didn't even know that came out.
The original company, Nordic Games, was founded in 2011, but they changed their name in like 2016.
Okay, yeah.
But they've been around for a little while. That's not. I mean, 7 years in like business is not long. So
no, definitely
that's crazy.
You also have that Elex game that's out. That's been kind of classified for the Switch that's coming out potentially, and then it's already out on PS4 and Xbox One. So
they're doing the Blob also, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's old school THQ franchise. So.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. You guys want to talk about Pokemon real quick on the Switch? Because we had the rumor of the localization. Remember this? This actually broke, OJ, like after SpawnCast ended last week, like literally the night. We turned off cameras and boom, this breaks. People found a job listing for something going on with Pokemon content where they're localizing it into, I believe it was Spanish, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was in Europe they were doing this. Mm-hmm. And everybody seems to think it's the Pokemon game on the Switch. And if they're localizing it now, it means the game is mostly done, like to the point where it's ready to start being translated to every language that they can. And it seems like, I feel like with all we've heard about Metroid, I think Metroid's next year. I know some people think it's 2018. I think it's next year. And I think Pokemon is this year's big game.
I agree.
I'd be shocked if it came out.
Pokemon?
Yeah. I feel that if it was advanced enough, we would have gone a small clip at E3 last year instead of just the president talking about it.
I
Because
thought
even
about that.
Metroid.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I didn't think they wanted to show anything, and they felt like they had to just do something. Because I mean, some of those trailers take a while to put together. I feel like they really didn't want to do too much right away,
Like,
and I feel like the backlash, they were like, "Well, we got to do something."
All you got to do is like remember when they announced that Zelda was coming in 2015 or 2016. It was like a wrong one, but it was just a clip of Link on his horse like walking, and then you just saw like the field of Hyrule and just said like the date. Like I feel that's all they would have needed last year, where it's like the camera panning, you see like the back of a Pokemon trainer, and then you just hear like the Pokemon theme playing, and then it just goes like Pokemon for Switch, and that's it. You just ended like that, like a teaser. If it was advanced enough, like even if they had the engine going, but I feel like they literally were starting from scratch at that point.
I was convinced we were going to get that at the Super Bowl. I thought there was going to be a Super Bowl commercial like they had last year, but it would be for Pokemon Switch because that would have been a big deal.
Oh, that would have been smart. Yeah.
I missed this by Olu for the super chat. Said since we're all fans, okay, of Ninja Gaiden, would it be awesome if Team Ninja released a Ninja Gaiden trilogy on Switch? If they just released one in general, I think it'd be awesome. It'd be interesting to see those games on the Switch because I remember when it came out on the original Xbox, I thought those visuals were insane on the original Xbox, and they still look good on 360. But yeah, I would like to see a trilogy if it's possible to do that. That'd be cool.
I don't want to break my Pro controller. So
yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm good. Ninja Gaiden 3 is just the most ridiculous game on the Wii U. It's just
I would just beat the first boss.
I beat that game, but oh my goodness, I just can't. I can't go through that.
You hate yourself that much?
I think I do. That game is ridiculously hard. I mean, it's
like it's not fun hard. It's just
not,
punishing
hard.
hard.
It was so hard. People were telling me I made a strategy guide back in the day with my ghetto software, and like I made a strategy guide to try to help because that's how people were just like rushing to me because I talk about the game and they'd be like, "How do you beat? Like, how do you play this game?" I'm like, "I'm figuring it out."
You go save state, load state, save state, make a hit, load state.
Give me some time and I'll figure this stupid game out. Wii U.
So, Bob, you said you're kind of thinking like I am, where you think Pokemon is going to be coming this year.
Yeah, if I had to throw money down, I'd say Pokemon late this year, Metroid early next year. But I think they're both in like pretty early development. I think so we got localization. They're hiring the localization people. Mm-hmm. That's a 6-month contract. It kind of fits within the window, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this game's coming out at the end of the year. I think it could also come out early next year, but we do need a big Nintendo game this year, and it's either Pokemon or Metroid, I think.
WarioWare and Mario Tennis, they're your big games. It might be a flop year. Keep your expectations low. That's all I'm saying.
You're right. We need a Mario Maker.
I feel like they, but with the Wii U, I feel like they kind of learned. Okay, we need something at least decent every Christmas just to make sure it's
maybe
good to go.
Maybe they think they're already doing great and they don't need anything. But
by the way, speaking of Mario Maker, did you guys see in the latest trailer for Nintendo? Is it Nintendo Labo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
cardboard.
Yeah, I talked about that a bit. Yeah,
they got that track builder that you can make your own tracks, and it looks like the Mario Kart engine.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. But did you see some of the stuff they showed where it has like, if you want to figure out how it works, you can actually see an X-ray of it, and it'll tell you and teach you how everything works together.
No, I didn't see that.
And not only that, they had something called the Toy-Con scanner, where if you put like your hand in front of it and you scan it, and then you have like your terrain for your motorbike that you're driving around, it'll actually take your hand and imprint it into the ground.
Yeah,
and then you're driving around that.
Silhouette.
Oh, it was so cool. And then
it's
they have
looking cooler and cooler as it goes on.
And you see the little car, the little bug thing that kind of skitters around as you steer it. It uses that IR sensor to like see
the camera
to see in front of it, but it can detect objects as it moves.
I thought they showed off that it detected heat at one point or something.
Yeah,
because then you can put your hand in front of it and then it'll follow it around.
But did you see like the piano? You can actually take scissors and cut your own waveform out of paper and it'll read it.
What?
Yeah, it's in the trailer. Someone cut like their own waveform, like how it would look on like I don't know, Audacity or something, and they just popped it in and it read it.
Whoa!
Like as an audio file?
Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah, I know. It's like this thing's gonna like take over the world.
So are you telling me that this isn't just cardboard? Is that what you're trying to tell me here?
I'm trying to tell people that it's coming in the cardboard shell, but some of the technology in there, if you wonder or not, is insanely impressive. Like it's not just like you look at the Joy-Con, you're like, oh, it's $80, that's a ripoff. But now I'm seeing what these things can do, and I'm like, man, that's actually not a bad deal for the stuff it can do. It's it's pretty crazy. Some of this, they must have hired some serious engineers or something for this.
Well, that's why all the Japanese developers were like, their minds were blown when they found out that the Switch was only that price because of the Joy-Con. Like they all thought it was going to be a lot more expensive because of the Joy-Con tech when they started learning about it. So
yeah, like I saw Philip talked about it on NVC because he went to New York and played it, and he seemed to love it. He said it was great. So it's gonna be interesting when it comes out. I think I talked to Nintendo. I think I'm getting the variety pack, so I'll check that out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at E3 we get like a Mario Maker or a Star Fox Zero port with multiplayer as the holiday, but I'm not expecting anything. I don't expect Pokemon and Metroid this year, but I'd love to be wrong.
I will lose my goddamn mind.
Dude, all you do is play Mario Maker.
Do you expect anything to come out this year? Are there going to be any games out this year? That's what I want to know.
Mario Strikers.
Jay, you have like post-traumatic stress from like the Wii U days.
I do. I really do. I used to like hype people up. Like I was rooting for the underdog and everything.
Have you seen Kimishima? Do you want to walk into his office?
There's Smash. You got Smash this year.
No. Wait, we have Smash this year.
Yeah.
You guys are also forgetting the Fire Emblem's coming out this year. The best game in the world was coming out.
This is the problem, though. The Fire Emblem's not like a mainstream. Like it's not a game that the parents going to go to the store with their kid and be like, "Oh, Fire Emblem."
I don't care what you say.
Is it like that in Japan? In Japan, is it like that?
Fire Emblem,
where you like take your kid to the store and they go, "Oh, I want Fire Emblem." Is it like that in Japan?
Absolutely,
it's a little more popular there. You like Fire Emblem Heroes on the cell phone? I think 80% of the sales come out of Japan.
Oh, actually. Hang on, sorry. That retro IP, way more chance of that coming out this year.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, that's
the secret bomb for the year.
Let's get Eternal Darkness and have retro make it, and then bring it out this year.
I just don't think Nintendo's going to roll in with one big game for the year. I just that doesn't seem very.
They've been doing it for 2 years. I don't know.
this past year they did Zelda and Mario. Those are big.
I think they're one big. I think Pokemon's big enough for one big game for the year.
Dude, if Pokemon comes out, Switches are going to sell out this holiday easily. No sweat. It's going to be ridiculous. I want to see those sales numbers, by the way, in Japan and Media Creates when Pokemon comes out, because the 3DS numbers are massive. So
do you guys think we'll get
the original Wii? That happens.
You guys think we'll see any new hardware this year? Was that too early?
You mean from all consoles?
What type of hardware? Like
I don't know, anything like a revision, a Switch upgrade, a new controller,
N64 Mini, something like that.
Maybe, yeah, sure, anything hardware.
We'll get a classic edition, something. I think Game Boy.
That'd be cool. I'd be alright with that. I'd be alright with like a Game Boy Classic or something.
Yeah.
No, they're just gonna come out with it. They're gonna come out with another 3DS. They'll figure out a way to. They'll figure out a way to
disappoint. That line is dead.
A 1DS.
4DS, man, like in that Rusty's Baseball or whatever. You guys remember that Rusty's Baseball game?
The games they try to push, like
actually, their last investors briefing had me a little concerned the way they answered that question about the 3DS.
What was their answer?
They were like, we don't really know what we're doing with that. That was their answer.
Because it's redundant now. It's had its run.
They can't leave it alone because it's like 70 million people own one. It's so hard to leave that alone. I get that, and people are still buying them. They had probably one of their best Christmases in the past 4 years on the 3DS this past Christmas. It's very weird. True. Yeah, so it's tough, man. It's like, how do you walk away from that? I don't know. That'd be tough. I mean, third parties definitely want to keep releasing for us. Then they'll probably still will do that. So I don't know. I feel like they need something. Mario Maker, I think, would be good. That I would love that
on Switch.
Bring Mario Maker. Yeah, no, Mario Maker 2 on the Wii U. If they brought it down the Switch, that'd be cool. Not Mario Maker 2 on the 3DS.
I'm one of the crazy ones who thinks that we're getting Fire Emblem, we're getting Pokemon, and we're getting Metroid all this year.
Well, we're getting Fire Emblem, we're getting Shin Megami, right?
Shin Megami Tensei 5. I mean, I thought it was coming out 2018, but some people are thinking that it's not going to. But we'll have to wait and see on that one.
You don't think do you think we're getting Smash?
I think a Smash game could come, but I'm like 50-50. I'm like a Smash Deluxe type of deal.
Yeah.
So I'm like 50-50.
Are you guys saying Smash this year?
I'm convinced it's this year.
You guys don't think it's gonna be a new Smash though? You think it's gonna just be one from the Wii U brought over?
It's gonna be the Wii U.
The Wii U with an elaborated single player mode.
What makes you guys so sure it's this year? I've never heard that.
I'm not so sure. I just said maybe. I'm not so sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm just feeling the currents.
Interesting. I'm surprised they wouldn't just try to make another Smash. You think they're gonna try to port that one over?
I don't see the business rationale behind it. Why invest and make something from the ground up when the Wii U is so good? You add in a melee mode where you toggle something and you get melee controls. Boom.
I personally feel the way that the Smash Brothers games are. First of all, the Smash Brothers games are made. They're made ridiculous. The way that they're made in general are crazy because they make them from the ground up each time. They don't bring over anything outside of voice clips. Sakurai almost had his hand amputated from the last time that he made Smash Brothers because it was just so stressful in the development of the game. Just so many things going on, especially with 2 versions. He recently just said, "Oh, he wouldn't mind being a consultant on the next Smash Brothers game." So there's just a varying factors of what's going down, and I don't see what way they can take it. I mean, if you make a Smash 5, do you create a brand new thing? Do you take over the same engine? The game is going to be very similar. So that's why I feel that maybe adding some new characters that were cut, ice climbers.
Have you seen Kimishima's stare? I think that loses his hand over this game.
That stare doesn't just create games, though.
I'm telling you, man, he seems like the guy who gets stuff done.
I know, and I think a Smash port, a deluxe port, would do very, very, very well. Like, because Smash didn't sell as well as it should have sold on the Wii U. Look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is about to pass up Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. So, So I think Smash on the Switch, if they just brought it over and then kind of fixed up a couple things, added some new things to it, that would sell incredibly well. And they just balance it so people start complaining about, because the competitive community is Bayonetta right now. Bayonetta is like the evil witch. So if they just balance that out to where that's kind of calming down, and the top player in the world for Smash Brothers recently retired
with an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, retired. So people are really worried about it, and I think it's because it's on Wii U. So people are worried about the numbers and everything. So if they brought over a Smash Deluxe, he said he'd come out of retirement, and they could add some new stuff. The 3DS stages, they can bring over the 3DS stages. Some of the modes, there's a Smash Run mode. They can bring that over to the Switch.
I think they have to bring some new character over with it, though. Like, go get some big new character and bring him over.
Everyone wants Ice Climbers back. So if you brought Ice Climbers,
I was gonna say Snake's not in there, right?
No, Snake's not in there.
Yeah. Snake's not coming anywhere. You're not getting Snake.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be Zombie Snake or something.
Yeah,
it would be cool. It would be cool if they brought over Snake, Wulff, Ice Climbers, and Pichu, all the characters that have been cut over the years.
It's gonna be Snake, and you're gonna press down B, and just a loot box is gonna come out.
Goes into a box, comes out a loot box.
Oh my god!
The only reason I'm skeptical of a Smash Brothers is because they build them always from the ground up, and I think it would make perfect sense to just re-release the one from the Wii U. And I think all they need to do is just include all of the DLC characters, and that's it. And people will buy the hell out of it.
Yeah, people will buy that.
I don't know if they will do that. I think that they are pretty set in just making a new one every time, because these games always come out towards the end of the life cycle, don't they?
Yeah, but when you look at the reason to remake them, it made sense. You always had these technological leaps in console. The Wii U hit that HD plateau where a game like Smash Brothers doesn't need to be rebuilt from the ground up. It's not going to look that much better than what it is. If you wanted to make it look better, you create new textures. You don't need to create a whole new engine or visual scheme for it.
Right.
It's 1080p 60 with 8 players on screen with a bunch of items. It literally handles all of that. 8 players, 1080p 60, doesn't dip a single frame, and you can have a ton of items on screen. So I see what Jay is trying to say. But to your point, Bob, the Melee came out at the beginning of the system's life, and also Smash Brothers Brawl. That was supposed to they wanted that to be a launch title, but then it ended up getting delayed till 2008. So it ended up coming out, about a year and a half.
My chat keeps stopping for some reason over here, but
it's actually the same thing with mine. Something's going on.
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple super chat. It's YouTube, man. YouTube's being weird today for some reason. At one point in time, real-time views just stopped.
You have to keep switching it to live chat. I don't know what that's about. I've never seen that before.
I'm just gonna I have the super chats listed here because they at least let me check them. Wishbone.
Yeah, I had to dig for that page.
I would love a Pokemon Stadium 3 or a Pokemon Snap 2. Pokemon Snap 2 is awesome. I would love to see Pokemon Snap 2, by the way.
Pokemon Snap isn't a game.
I liked it. It was such a cool game. I loved that game. That was great.
It's just like an on rails point and click.
That's a game
that would work in
you
VR.
can get with the online service.
VR.
Just give it.
It would work in VR very well.
Yes,
The reason
you're
people
correct.
like Pokemon Snap on the 64 when it first came out, that was the first time we saw Pokemon not trying to murder each other. It was the first time we saw them like in their like habitat, like just running around. But you could make a bunch of them like attack like Meowth or something.
Have you tried replaying it though recently?
It's not the best experience right now.
That's why those. It's like not you can't make that today and have it do well,
No.
like exactly the same as it was.
I got it on Virtual Console or eShop last summer, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is so good. And after like 20 minutes after the nostalgia ran, I'm like, oh, I'm done.
But there were like so many cool moments from it, like when you go through the steps to have Magikarp evolve into Gyarados, and then Gyarados just blasts out of the waterfall at you and everything. There are so many cool moments in that game.
Yeah, after you looked up online how to do that.
I don't know.
Your Nintendo Power magazine, you mean?
There you go.
Now I figured that one out, man. That was me. I was the one typing on GameFAQs. Will McConnell says, "Oh, Trauma Center." I said, "Guys, Trauma Center switched." That makes too much sense actually, because you have a touchscreen. That would be cool. I would be okay with Trauma Center. Trauma Center was never a big series, though. I don't think it sold a ton of copies. I could be wrong. I think I played one or two of the Trauma Centers. I don't know.
Trauma Center, I think, sold pretty well when it first came out.
Didn't it? I have to look. Trauma Center would be really cool though. Who owns that? Is that Capcom? Who owns that?
I have no idea.
I'm sure.
It's very Japanese.
Trauma Center. I figure OJ would probably know.
Yeah, we lost him.
OJ, no, we lost OJ.
He just walked out on us. He's like,
He's like, forget this, man.
Faded.
Probably knock on the
Faded.
door.
Nah, it's fine. Let me see Trauma Center. I actually looked up the actual Trauma Center. That's not good.
oh,
You gotta
Don't call any
Atlas.
numbers.
It's Atlas.
Atlas, that's who it was. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Developer, yeah, Atlas. Well, look at that. So that would be cool. I'd be alright with that. I'd be alright with that one. And then this is DJ. Oh, they spelled it with numbers. Decaying Gaming. I'll go with that. Pokemon Switch has been in development for 2 years. Game Freak has two teams. Team A, Team B did Ultra Sun and Moon. Team A has moved on after we heard about this. There are two teams that are currently working on Pokemon games. We actually heard about that a while ago. There's like a younger team, and then there's like a veteran team that are working on games. So it's possible. And we heard about how the sprites were already done for like 1080p and like high def textures.
when was
and
this
everything.
done?
A
That was
long
from-
time ago. A long
That was
Sprites
like
are
three. That was like 3 years ago, I think.
Yep.
2D
was a-
sprites or models though?
Models.
3D model. Like
Yeah.
3D model. Oh, okay.
Well, I thought that was all done in HD already, and I remember I heard about that, and I was like, or maybe they're moving to that for the 3DS, but it kind of got buried after a while. And I was thinking maybe they're going to bring it to the Wii U, and they never did. So maybe maybe there was a plan at one point. I thought about this too, to like bring out a Wii U Pokemon game, and they just never did it. Like Mario Odyssey, I feel like was probably planned for the Wii U originally,
Really?
and they moved it to. I mean, they had to start developing that thing forever ago, right?
I think it was a 5 or 7 year development cycle on that.
I think it was very early stages on Wii U, at least. And
Yeah.
then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna."
It's when they were starting to learn how to
figure
do
that into
HD development. If you trace it back, remember how they had the HD obstacle? Like they were like, "Oh shit, developing for HD is a lot harder than we thought."
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was around that time that they started Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. So I feel like some of these games that we probably don't even know about yet. I don't think Metroid, they were probably skipping the Wii U right away for that. But I feel like Pokemon may have been like that. Maybe they were thinking, we'll get a Pokemon game out for the Wii U because maybe that'll help it. But they kind of saw the writing on the wall and they knew the Switch was eventually coming. So they're like, yeah, let's just wait. Let's just keep developing it. We'll put it on the Switch. I mean, that's how we got, even you could even say Zelda, even though it did come out on the Wii U. That's how we got Zelda and a Mario game in the first year of the system, is because they were both originally supposed to come out on the Wii U, probably.
Well,
So-
Pikmin 4 maybe was
Mm.
also maybe slated for.
Everyone
Wii U.
calls for Pikmin. How well does Pikmin sell, though?
Let's find out.
I just had that thought. I'm like, I hear everyone talk about Pikmin. How well does Pikmin actually sell, though?
It's not like a huge. It's not a huge seller. I know that.
Yeah.
And John, I think we got a copy of it traded in when we started our store up, and then had it till it closed.
It sells about 1 to 2 million per title.
Okay, I mean, it'll probably sell better on the. I think it'll probably sell better on the Switch.
Oh,
Just
it'll do a
'cause
lot
the Switch
better
will
on
have
Switch.
a larger install base when it's all said and done.
To
than
be
obviously
fair,
Wii U.
that's about like Metroid numbers.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Although they built up Prime, man, people were waiting for Prime for a while.
Prime
now.
did better than any Pikmin game, but the
Mm.
original Prime. The
Yeah.
original Prime did better.
Yeah.
Did it?
Microtransactions. Yes. Let's talk about microtransactions. There was a report I saw this came out on GameIndustry.biz where they talked a bit about a survey that took place. They found that 69% of consumers find microtransactions okay, and only 6% of consumers don't buy microtransactions.
Who did they survey?
Apparently, they surveyed
Only people who play EA
They just like opened a window and yelled outside and see what happened.
FIFA Ultimate Team, like iPod King on YouTube and stuff like that. FIFA Ultimate guys and stuff like that, man.
Okay, let's do a survey here. Out of the people in this, like, just this video chat, how many people pay for microtransactions?
Not me.
Not me.
Oh, only with games that I actually like, but it takes me a little while before I'll do it.
In console, not in console
in my life.
Yeah. Not in console. I've done it for cell phone games that were free at times because I played them so much, and I'm like, I feel like I need to give them something. I've done that, but like paid console games, no. I wouldn't even count DC Universe when we played that, Evan, because I actually paid the subscription fee for that.
I've only done Hearthstone, if that counts.
Yeah,
I mean, it would, but like, what are we considering microtransactions?
Let's
DLC?
just talk about.
I thought you bought DLC before.
Let's talk about like console games where the microtransactions are things that you can continue buying, like costumes and stuff like that. Is what they're talking here for cosmetics.
The way I would define it is if you paid for the game, you paid to play a game, and then you have to pay to have more access to the game or more cosmetic items. That's a microtransaction.
So DLC does count.
So DLC does count, yeah.
OJ NX Revolution said OJ was 1986 a good year.
Was 1986 a good? Okay, he's talking about that's an inside type of deal.
Okay. Tell you what, let me look up the.
Was it a good year though?
1987 was better than 1986.
Because now I'm interested.
What went down in 80? Well, Zelda came out in 86, so it's a pretty good year.
See, I'm trying to figure out what is the actual difference between DLC and microtransactions. Then
I have a definition that microtransactions for me are usually like they just keep on coming. Like it's
consistent.
It's consistent.
It's there at launch.
This is the problem with microtransactions. Everyone seems to have their own definition of what it is, what makes it good, what makes it bad. It's so spread out that like
that's what I would think it was. Like that's what cell phone companies. It's not like you buy something, okay, you get that and you're done. Like these like clash of whatever and like.
So here's how it is. DLC is like because DLC is just downloadable content. Everything you do is downloadable content.
It's the umbrella term.
Yeah. So like I download a game, it's downloadable content. I downloaded a game on my cell phone, it's downloadable content. Like even if it's free. So microtransactions just fits underneath of that.
And then there's expansions, which is, I would say, another category.
Something else that would fit underneath of that. Right. So downloadable content is the literal large term that's like, did you download it? That's DLC.
Right. Expansion expands your game, like adds tracks, adds level, adds a story. Microtransaction is more like adds items.
Right. That's how I'd see it. Yeah. So there are a lot of people who don't like DLC. There are a couple things about DLC I do like.
Yeah, when DLC originally came out, everyone started freaking out about it. It died down, but then it started to get revealed that companies had DLC pre-prepared before the game came out. And
that's the problem. That's a problem. Or we go back to what Resident Evil 5 did, where when you buy, I remember this happened when my friends bought the Resident Evil 5 download and it was 1 megabyte. And all of a sudden everything worked. And we found out later online that everything was already on the disc. It was just a little key that you bought.
Street Fighter did that. One of the older ones. That I found out that the first like set of characters they released were already there. Yeah,
because with Resident Evil 5, Microsoft's like download was still really weird. They said you could close the window, but really wanted to leave it open so it downloaded as fast as it could. And we were positive it would be like a half-hour download, just instant. And we're like, what? And then all of a sudden everything worked. So yeah, they blocked that on the disc. A little bit of a problem there, I'd say. But then I see like Witcher's downloadable content. That's good downloadable content because there's a lot of content that came out way later, right? I mean, even Zelda's, that's stuff that came out a year later. Right. That they were clearly working on. So it's hit or miss. But the microtransactions is interesting because it does sound like, and this is why I will say I think EA made a mistake by taking the microtransactions out of Battlefront 2, as bad as that sounds, because
putting it back in.
They're going to put it back in. But it would have worked. They would have made a ton of money, and they would have just lost some on the sale. They would have still made a ton of money.
They were overruled, though, right? Didn't Disney step in? I was like, stop that.
That's how I know Disney made them do it, because they were just going to leave them in, because why wouldn't they? So as much as they're like, oh no, Disney didn't. Yeah, they did. They may just take them out. Apparently, only 6%. That's interesting.
I'm surprised.
Huh?
It's a vocal 6%. I'll tell you that.
This is interesting.
6% what? I'm sorry.
It says at the top here, if you look at the I didn't give you that. There's it's over on gamesindustry.biz. I sent everyone else the link, Bob. You came in late. I didn't get it to you, unfortunately. But at the top is 69% of consumers find cosmetic microtransactions acceptable. Only 6% of consumers never spend money on microtransactions.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like most people complain about microtransactions and then buy them anyway.
Oh no, they do.
A lot of people who hated all of the Star Wars stuff bought the game anyway and then bought all the microtransactions. It's like, what are you doing? Vote with your wallet.
Yes. I don't know about that. I personally feel that Star Wars probably should have sold like 30 million copies, but that's just me. Like it should have sold like 20 to 30 million. It should have been at that because
you're right.
If you look at how popular it is, you look at 100 million systems. You're on PC, you're on everything, and you're selling. What did they sell? Like 10 million or something?
They were. I think they sold 8 million, but they shipped 9 or something like that.
That's there should be no way that type of game, that franchise, is that even if it's not that great, whatever, it should be 20 million in my opinion.
Yeah, but with so many people being so vocally against it,
and still sold that many.
A lot. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not impressed by that because like Mario Odyssey, like you got a system with a fraction of the install base. And is Star Wars popular than Mario? What's more popular?
It also shows how great Mario Odyssey was and how great the Switch is.
I'm going to tell you, OG, I'm going to tell you now, Mario. I personally think some people might not like this. I think Mario is more popular than Star Wars.
Is it okay? I don't believe that.
No, I don't know.
Here's how I know this.
Pokemon is more popular than Star Wars.
Here's how I know this.
Yes, the IP is bigger than Star Wars.
I thought Mario was considered more recognizable than anything.
Mario is the most valuable IP in the world at this point because I can go upstairs. I can go upstairs and ask my wife right now, do you know Star Wars? She's like, no, I don't know Star Wars. And I go, what about Mario? And she's like, oh yeah, let's play Mario now.
I think he's right though. Mario is recognizable. Mario's recognizable.
Nobody would recognize a lightsaber though.
Does she? Yeah, she can. Everyone can recognize, I think, a lightsaber at this point.
Okay, well they would know that's Star Wars.
No. My wife actually, yes, my wife thought it was Star Trek. But she will name every single Kardashian. I'm not kidding.
They're pretty popular too, but I mean, like,
I think Mario is just a very. I think that's why while people are like, oh, Microsoft's just buying Nintendo, I think Mario's IP is nearly priceless.
Well, I've said that multiple times that you can't really put a price on like Nintendo. It's too hard because they're too valuable because of everything that they have. But I just feel that Star Wars, based on how big it is, it should have just easily done way more than that. But that's just like I said. I mean, you have so many systems.
It definitely should have done way better than it did, and it's because of all of the controversy around it that it didn't do well. But
it was even bundled with PS4s. I mean, it was bundled with PS4s. It was. I just feel that it should have been 20 million. I mean,
Bob's correct though. If any other game had that kind of backlash, first of all, no other game would have that backlash because Star Wars, I think, is that popular that it can get that backlash.
This isn't like a new thing. Other games have done this.
Call of Duty was just as bad. You played the new Call of Duty. It's as bad as Star Wars. It's just no one cares.
But the progression is better, right? Like from what I've seen, but the progression and the gameplay is actually better than Star Wars. So
if there's this Mario movie, do you guys think it's going to sell better than Star Wars?
No. I mean, I want to say no, but I mean, I've been shocked before.
I want to believe no, yeah.
I want to say no, but I've been shocked. I don't know. I don't think it will, though. I don't think it will, but
it shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
I do think something like Odyssey will outsell Battlefront too.
It did.
Well, I mean, when it's all said and done at the end of it, I think it will have sold out compared to that. But it should have done better. OJ should have done more than 14, 15 million, I think. But that kind of backlash would have absolutely destroyed a game, like any other game. It would have been the game would have come out and have been like, oh, it's
double-digit sales.
Then there's also Last Jedi that left a sour taste in a lot of fans' mouths.
Yeah, that's true.
I think a lot of people who bought it are casual fans who are just like not particularly like hardcore gamers. They just like Star Wars a lot, so like, I'm gonna.
You're absolutely right. And then what they did was, this wasn't $100. Let me buy more content this way.
Yeah, a lot of them probably haven't even seen the yelling online. They just bought it and went on.
They're just suckers for it. They fall right into it, and then EA is like, "Sweet, we got them."
Yeah. So all right. So Evan has an interesting stance on microtransactions. Evan is not as against microtransactions, I think, as everybody. Well, you don't see it as much as like a black and white. You see like the gray kind of in the middle.
Yeah, because it always depends on who's making it, who's doing it, what's it for. Like, even though I don't like Overwatch, I have to keep going back to it because all the games I love keep dying for some reason. but
gigantic and
yeah. The last time I went back to it, instead of having to buy DLC, instead of having to go, oh wait, everyone's moved on to Overwatch 2, it's all the maps, all the modes, all everything. It's still there. I can just re-download, I can just play it, and I can go. There's a team of people making that who need funding, and the loot boxes for them seem to work for it. And they have this sort of pseudo method of getting a lot of them per week, as well as a method of getting a sort of system together where there's percentages based on what you already have. If you have something, it lowers the percentage that you're going to get it. And then you can possibly get the newer stuff a little bit faster. If you don't, you get in-game currency towards the ability to buy it. And because of that, I can just get on whenever, play all the new heroes, all the new maps, any of the new modes, just play with my friends if they're still around for it. And it's just so much easier than having to do kind of the DCUO method, which if you wanted to play that game now, you would either, I think, have to pay for a chunk.
It's so bad.
You'd have to pay for a chunk of, I think it's like you have to like pay for the 3-month monthly to get all the DLC, or you had to buy all the DLC, which I think there's like 20, 30 of them to catch up with everyone. It's so ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
So here's what Evan's saying. If it's a live service game, which means obviously a game that's going to be online and it's going to be around for a while, not a single player game. Not like that's the one problem I have is when these kind of things show up in single player games, like Shadow of War, for example. But like you're saying, if it's like Overwatch, Evan, you would rather have microtransactions in there, cosmetic. You don't want it to bet. It's never going to be a serious game if it's messing with people's progression.
Well, even alternatively, because I think I talked to you about this today, if Battlefront came out and it didn't do loot boxes, but it still let you have this really big and intricate and annoying progression system, but then let you pay for every single thing going up the list. And you could like pick, I want to get to this point. Well, that equals like $50 to get there. So now I'll get it that way. Would have had the same backlash. Doesn't matter if it was loot boxes or not. It's just the fact that it's a Star Wars game and you had to pay for stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're saying you'd rather have like these microtransactions that provide revenue for the company if people want to pay them, rather than having to buy a sequel 3 years later.
Yeah.
And split the fan base. Okay, I mean I understand that a bit, but it's I personally don't like it when they are supposed to be doing that and then they show up with Destiny 2.
No, yeah, that's
you know what I mean. Like
that's really where it comes down to voting with your dollars, like we were already saying. Like Wulff said, it's you see it happen, and then you go no, and then you stop. I haven't played an EA game in 6 years, 7 years.
Bad Company 2 was Bad Company 2 the last one.
That was the last one, I think.
Yeah, that was a good game.
I haven't touched it since because they moved off of Steam and cited a bullshit reason. I stopped dealing with them, and apparently I was right because they keep going south. So I haven't touched them.
Yeah, I don't think I think there are times where microtransactions could be okay. Like people, I feel like we're okay with what we heard with Sea of Thieves. I feel like,
but I think Overwatch is a perfect example of microtransactions that work well.
They keep
purely cosmetic.
Rocket League, Rocket League, yeah.
As long as it doesn't affect the gameplay, as long as it doesn't make you worse if somebody else is spending a lot of money in the game, as long as it doesn't make them better just because they threw money at the screen.
Mm-hmm. Right, sure. And if they actually keep putting money into the game, like Overwatch keeps adding stuff to the game, Rocket League keeps adding. They spent a bunch of time even on the Switch version just to make it just a little better in terms of resolution and all this stuff. So they're still putting money into the game and
more of like a service.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of games are turning into.
Because they don't want to keep making games. They want to make like one game and keep it alive forever if they can.
Well, we're at a point where, the technology, we've kind of hit a ceiling, a plateau where there's not these jumps anymore like there were for the last 30 years. So it's a lot harder to justify making a whole new game 5-6 years from now when you can just continuously add to it and tweak it and support it.
One big problem because of that is all of these big publishers are trying to make the multiplayer game that you spend all of your time on. So every multiplayer game is this massive budget, like big AAA experience, and they all have all of this like microtransaction bullshit coming up behind them to fund that. And there's all these other multiplayer games I'm going to spend my time on. Why would I do Evolve?
That's sort of the bigger and crazier problem with that is because they're trying to catch up. There's already people who have games out that have been going for years on this already. They've expanded new engines. They've been pushing themselves further and further. So when someone comes into the game with a new title like Destiny 2, and they're just like, here's this with very basic stuff you don't care about for a while, you're gonna have to wait like 6 years before you get the game you really want. hopefully you keep paying, but it's not enough. So these companies, the AAA cycle is almost going to start getting really crazy for how much they have to do before it even touches a console or a PC.
And then on the other side of the coin is some guy who's never touched coding before, and then he's just like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna mod a game and fart out a game, and then you get PUBG, and it sells millions.
Yeah, it just sells a crazy amount. Oh man, that's something else right there. But it's interesting. There are people online who see microtransactions as like the most evil thing in the world. I feel like they see it more as the progression is the problem. If you buy a $60 game, here's the thing: if these companies were smart, they'd be at least kind of doing what Sea of Thieves is doing right now. You can get, if you have Game Pass, you just download the game. I know it still costs money, but you're technically not having to buy the game and have your Game Pass or something. But if these games would go very cheap or free to play, they would probably make more money off of these transactions completely, rather than what they do when they bring out a $60 feed and get in and then maybe buy stuff after that.
It depends on the game, because it's got to be popular if they're going to release it for free or little money.
I can't believe Overwatch isn't free yet, to be honest. I'm actually shocked about that.
One of the other cycles
when it's free.
Oh, okay. You go?
Sorry, go ahead.
One of the other cycles is to release it for pay like normal and see if it takes off. And then if it does take off, give everyone who paid into it early on this massive bonus and then drop it to free for everyone else under the assumption that the community grows.
Rainbow Six Siege did something like that, right? Where they dropped it to $15.
It's getting very big compared to where it was.
I told him that. I was like, drop the price, make a grind if you want. That's fine. And make like the starter. I think it's called like the starter edition or something like that.
Yep. And it gives you everything the original game gave you. And you get like a couple bonus things for being the cool people who paid for it up front. But then if you just want more people to play against, they can easily just get it.
This is a good point from Will McConnell. Says, depends on what you call micro. $10 is not a microtransaction. I kind of agree with you there. I think some of these microtransactions should be like $1 is what they should be. If they change the law regarding loot boxes, they need to reclassify the term microtransaction. That's right. They actually have to do a lot of work, I think.
They have to do a lot of work, because that term, if it completely starts to ruin things and makes it like a betting issue where you have to be 21 or older to play the game, Hearthstone, Duelist, the Gwent game that's currently out from CD Projekt Red, those are going to be hit. So it's going to be a little weird.
Were you trying to say something earlier, Bob?
No.
Oh, I heard a bunch of voices all at once, and I wasn't sure. Jason, though, you're trying to say something, man.
I don't think it was me. I'm not sure.
Okay. Maybe it was me and I just forgot. I don't know. There were a lot of voices in there. So microtransactions, it's a weird situation. And now Hawaii and a bunch of other legislations getting involved because the ESRB can't seem to rein anybody in, even when a company like EA is obviously going far beyond what they should be with these things. So it's going to be really weird when the government starts getting involved in this stuff. That's the problem, because it's happening. Hawaii is probably going to pass one of those bills, I think. That's going to be something. Okay, so I guess our last topic here was Rime. Jason, you were playing it on the PS4. You like it. Did you see the Switch version, though? Did you hear how poorly done that was?
I've been avoiding it. Pretty much Sean was telling me how bad it was. He was reviewing it. I don't know if it was for his channel or Nintendo Enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to pick it up, so I didn't touch it. And then when I saw it on the PS4 for free, I'm like, yoink, get in this.
That was, I'm sorry. Before we move on, somebody just said this in the chat. They should give you the rates, or at least the odds.
That I don't mind.
That's something they should do. They should give you the odds. And I talked about this at one point with Evan, and I'm concerned that they're not giving people the odds because they don't actually exist. I think the odds are dynamic. I think
some games, but sometimes they are dynamic, but it has changed for Overwatch in the past. It used to just be whatever the odds are, that's it, and you can get multiples all the time. But as people complained about it, that's when they started going, well, if you already have it, we're going to lower that for you. If we're going to give you more of a potential to get these higher end ones if you open 10 boxes in a row, like that kind of stuff.
Well, I think there's a problem that there already is. They've already admitted there's a mercy, I think, system, so that if you get to a certain point and you haven't pulled anything good, they just kind of throw you a bone.
Yeah, that's the Hearthstone mercy system, yeah.
Yes, my problem is if you pull the first time and you don't get anything good, and it's always set up to do that. I feel like that's the concern a lot. I saw this going around online. That's the concern a lot of people have right now. Jay Childers says, do you think Microsoft will make all their first party games as service with microtransactions now with Game Pass? Yes, they will. They want to do that. And I think they're actually getting ahead of the game here with games as a service. Single player games, no. I think we should just buy single player games, $60, have a great experience, great. But games as a service make a ton of sense to give you the game almost free and then charge people who want to pay and then keep the game going. Me personally, I think that's the best way to do it. But that Microsoft absolutely wants to be online always and games as a service. That whole thing. They tried to do it when the Xbox first came around, so I don't doubt it. But Rime, Jason, you're playing it now on the PS4. OJ, you saw the update for Rime that came out, or at least it's coming out soon.
I heard about the update that they're gonna fix things. Apparently,
yes, there were some dramatic changes. I will say that if you look at some of the screenshots they put out, we have to see it in motion. Massive changes, resolution, stuttering, everything that I complained about is pretty much getting fixed according to them. Apparently,
cool.
Yes.
It'd be cool if they should. If that was the case, they really should have just held on to the game. I mean, I don't know if the budgeting concerns or what it was, but if they would have just held on, man, I think the game could have been a lot bigger on Switch. Yeah. I don't know, maybe
as a game that's more of an experience, like to allow that much jitter and frame rate issue, it completely destroys the experience.
Yeah,
it's not a game that anybody would recommend to anyone.
Yeah,
which is a shame because I thought it was like a mediocre game, and when I'm playing it now, and I stopped playing it to come on the podcast. I'm going right back to Rime after. It's a beautiful, beautiful game.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting to see the patch. So I would, even OJ, if you wanted to, I would get some footage now and then like compare it later to more footage.
I've got footage.
Okay, yeah. I would do that though, because when it changes, obviously you might not remember what. I remember it looked like. It looked like a 3DS game.
Well,
but
we all kind of dropped our footage at the same time. I'm not sure if you remember, like when we all.
They gave us an embargo.
Yeah, they gave us an embargo where we could, and we all kind of dropped our footage. And I was playing, and I captured a lot more than I actually even showed. I was like, I'm not showing all this. I'm like this. I was just basically like, don't buy this game. Like this game looks kind of, everyone that
I said it looked terrible. I was like, this thing's a piece of junk.
I was like, this just doesn't look great. I mean, and I played more off, but I mean, it was rough. So, I mean, I want to see when it does come out, see what happens. But like I said, I think at this point, you can get it on PS4 for free. It's just been so long. I mean, I don't know.
I think I like. Oh, go ahead.
I forgot it was free on PlayStation Plus, so I'm literally downloading it right now.
Nice. I was it was bad. It wasn't the worst because I played WWE 2K18. I paid $60 for that game.
You bought that?
I paid $60. Dude, someone had to do it. It's a good thing I did.
Do it.
Dude,
a lot of you that someone had to do it.
I want to put up a video, and I was like, this looks like I'm playing underwater right now.
No, you and Sean. The thing is, I know Sean started the whole, refund type of deal, but like, I got no sympathy for all the other people who bought it because they don't gotta buy it. You guys are tech channels. You guys are channels. You guys buy it, and then they watch you. I don't feel sorry for other people who saw that it was crap and so said, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy it. I love WWE."
So I think I can say this. I think I can say this now. This is really funny because when we were going into this, I remember I talked to Sean immediately after I did that video. And I was like, I was like, I didn't even put it up yet. I was like, Sean, don't buy WWE. It's like 5 frames a second. Like when you get people in the ring and stuff with like the cell matches and everything. And then he sent me back. He's like, because he was hyping up this video he was going to do for WWE. And he was like, is it really that bad? I have Stevie Richards is going to do the video with me. And I was like, oh man, dude, I'm sorry. This is bad. I was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
But he made it work though. He made it work.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's the thing. And like I said, I don't feel sorry for anyone else who bought it because you had plenty of people tell you how bad it was. I mean, I got people tell me, "Hey, did you see how bad it was?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw how bad it is. I watched the video." Like, are you gonna play it? I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Do you want to give me $60 to play it?" Like, none of my audience wants to watch that junk.
It was very telling when I went to Walmart and they put it out. And the first day it went on sale, it was rollback for $41.
It got rolled back the first day.
I wish I had bought it physically because I would have smashed that system, that cartridge. I would have destroyed that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you get a refund? Can you get a refund if you got it digitally?
I can, but I can't refund it now because I have to hold on to it just in the small hope that they actually do something about it. Because an update came out. An update came out. And I had to check it out, and I just put it on Twitter. It's still terrible. Don't when
the update came out, didn't someone say it was a performance enhancement update?
Yes, and I downloaded it, and
it made it worse. I thought it made it worse. So I thought a couple things got really bad.
That's why I
did the video where I said it was just like the 90s, and it was like I did the GoldenEye explosions and showing that where it dropped like 5 frames per second. I did that. That was around when I did that too because I got to tell people it's still bad. So now it's like my civic duty at this point.
Yeah, we are the guardians at the gate.
Yeah, and Sean's making sure people get refunds. People actually got refunds, by the way.
Especially digitally. I know his Twitter posts, you started seeing people saying, yeah, we complained hard enough, and Nintendo was like, sorry, and just gave them their money back.
Dude, I got to give it to Sean, man. People are getting refunds on WWE 2K18. I got to give it to him. Just took him and Stevie Richards to get it done. Oh, man. That's all we had for tonight. I don't know if anyone in the chat wants to ask a couple questions for the next 5 minutes before we sign out. But anything, Evan, on Discord? I forgot to ask.
I think we had a couple things. Which games are you looking forward to play on the second half of the year, be it announced or rumored?
Spyro. That's number one. I'll be playing Pokemon in November.
Are we making bets on that right now?
Maybe.
I'm pretty confident it's coming. It's coming, man.
I think it is.
Does anybody else believe it's not coming?
There's probably tons of people that believe it's not coming.
No, there are out of Evan and Bob.
I think there's like a 65% chance that it's coming.
I just realized you guys next to each other makes Bob Evan.
Oh yeah. What do you think, Evan? Do you think it's coming? Yes or no?
Which one? Pokemon?
Yeah. This year.
I feel like it should, but I don't know. We're getting to that cusp where I feel like how long of a time Nintendo likes to hype that when they drop the information for it. We're coming to that point where it's like, we're about to pass the line, and they're going to get to that moment where they're going to drop it like a couple months before it releases, and it's not going to feel as awesome, but it'll still be pretty cool.
Watch them announce the Nintendo Direct on Monday, and then we just learn all about Pokemon Tuesday or Wednesday.
Nintendo Direct Pokemon.
Yeah.
Just pop in and be like, you can pick it up tomorrow in the eShop.
Yeah, you can pick it up tomorrow. It's like, whoa.
Japan literally trips over. It's like they literally trip trying to run to the store.
It cuts to the live feed from Japan. Fires start breaking out.
Just Japan sinks as an entire country.
Insane. Oh man, that would be crazy. What other games you guys think? I said Spyro and Pokemon.
That's not just.
Yeah, I said Spyro and Pokemon.
Mario Aces, anybody?
Oh,
I'm already getting that game. I love Mario Tennis. I heard it's going to be like old school Mario Tennis, where it's like an RPG kind of system for a single player, I think, and everything.
No,
ready
it's set story. We need to wait and see if there's RPG stuff.
I know. No, I added RPG in there. It's got to be RPG. Come on, man. Don't disappoint me again.
You heard that it was RPG.
No, I'm just saying that. Don't disappoint me again, Mario Tennis. They already disappointed me with the last one. Yeah. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. I feel like they just put that one out, and then this is another game they had development forever ago. I don't know.
This is the real Mario Tennis.
Dude, it has to be. You saw the last one. It was like a demo.
Pretty much was.
Kingdom
Hearts 3 is my game of the year.
Oh yeah, okay, very good, very good.
Fire Emblem is going to be the greatest game ever made. So I mean,
you're really into Fire Emblem. I'll give you that. Is it going to be Fire Emblem Pirates?
Yeah, Fire Emblem Pirates.
That was the best rumor ever.
That was.
OJ, would you be excited if there was the new Smash and they added 5 more Fire Emblem characters this year?
Absolutely.
Would you be that one guy in the crowd going, yeah?
I banned someone today when they said that Smash Bros. Has too many Fire Emblem characters. I said, what'd you say? You repeated it. Don't ever say it to my friend.
Back. So
Moto in the chat said Mega Man. That's
oh
one
yeah, Mega Man 11.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that Mega Man X collection. Oh, 11. That's right. That's coming out too.
My hopes are low. Expectations low there.
I'd like to say Cyberpunk, but I'm pretty sure they're going to announce it at E3, and I don't think they're going to release it within the 6 months after. So
no, that'll be a 2019 game, I think. Yeah.
What are the big games on the other systems in the second half? Do we even know?
I would say God of War, but that's coming out in March or April. Sorry, April.
Well, unless they decide to go back into it and add more stuff.
So
Red Dead.
We think Spider-Man's coming out this year, and I want to play it. But I said that last year at E3. I was like, can't wait to play Spider-Man next year.
How is that not out yet? It has to be out this year.
Or the year before. It was like because we heard about it, and I was like, this is amazing. It's Spider-Man. This is going to be the third E3 it's been to, by the way.
I was convinced Spider-Man was going to come out with the movie. And
yes,
nobody.
It's exactly what I thought. I was like, this makes sense. Makes sense. And we're coming up on the third E3 for Spider-Man. It closed out last year's E3, so are they going to let it close out again? I don't know. It looks good. I'm ready for it, but I don't know when it's coming out. 2018, I guess. That's what they said. I don't know. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, that'll be good. That's going to eat up a lot of time.
Yes. Especially Battle Royale mode if they have that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I feel like PUBG will be sweating a little bit there. A little bit. little bit. What else? Any other questions, Evan?
With the Spyro remaster, what other 90s games franchises do you want to see return?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Breath of Fire.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler. Random note.
Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. There's there's so many franchises that can return. Like,
You know what?
crazy.
I would like to see a remaster of something like this. Isn't really in the 90s though, like Rogue Galaxy from the PS2. Love that game.
Oh, absolutely. I just
Bring
bought that
that
on the PS4.
Great game.
It was like $5.
Yeah.
man.
Because we even saw like the dot hack get completely redone on GU. That was great.
Skies of Arcadia. I guess that's like an early 2000s, right? But
I remember playing that on the Dreamcast. Yeah, that was like that. Yeah, that was like early 2000s. I think
I would love a good
back
Rocket
in the
Knight.
90s.
A proper Rocket Knight.
Rocket Knight.
Didn't they do that one on the 360?
I don't count that one.
Just like nobody counts the newer Crash games.
Yeah. I wonder if they could do something like one of the older Final Fantasies and actually bring it up to like how Final Fantasy 7 remakes getting done, like a Final Fantasy 5 or something like that.
Well, like 4 was redone on the 3DS with 3D models,
Mhm.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like if they took it and like threw it into like the PS4 type.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Something like that. That'd be kind of neat. I would like that.
Final Fantasy 6 with the Unreal Engine 4. I think that would be, if they could make something like that. That'd be dope.
Oh, that would be insane. Wow, that'd be something. People are saying Chrono Trigger. That would be a good one.
I'd go with Zombies Ate My Neighbors with some massive modernization overhauls.
I don't think you can bring back Chrono Trigger though and maintain its soul.
It would be tough. It would be very tough. I mean, Chrono Cross. I mean, it's not Chrono Cross is a completely different style of game, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, I would hope that they would do something. I don't know why this franchise is dead, but it's essentially dead. I mean,
it's a shame, man. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But I guess that's. Evan, was there any other question in Discord? Sorry, before I cut you off.
What do
We're good.
you think Sony and Nintendo have up their sleeves for E3? Specifically, if Nintendo were to blow it out of the water with Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4 or Pokemon Switch,
Bayonetta 3's coming.
what could Sony do to win E3 over Nintendo?
I don't think there's anything they could do.
Yeah, probably not.
Sony would have to go get a game from somebody.
A
They have to go buy
PS5. That's it.
Yeah. They have to go buy a game from somebody. I think
PlayStation has got to have some surprises this year.
they have to, right? Because
But
we
they
know about
always announce.
Days
We've
Gone.
said that for the last 2 years.
They'll just announce another game that's going to take them 6 years to write.
That's the thing. They announce 3-4 years ahead, and then they just milk that.
I
So
feel
they're
like
at the point.
Yeah, we already know about a lot of the games that are going to be at E3. Like Days Gone will be there, Spider-Man will be there, Red Dead will probably be there.
I remember covering Horizon Zero Dawn like at E3 2014. I was like, oh, look, that game looks cool, and it took them all those years, to
So
bring it out. So
I don't know. You can't do Grand Theft Auto's not showing up because Red Dead's coming out. I don't know what they do. Spyro will probably be showcased there, but it's going to be announced in March, I think, like they said. I don't know. Medieval, I guess, will be showcased there.
Oh, Last of Us 2? Would that be there?
Yeah, but that's also. I mean, Last of Us
Yes,
2 is. I think that's
definitely.
a 2019 game, 2020 game, maybe.
it's off. It's at least a minimum a year and a half or two.
Yeah, there are rumors that people are like speculating that might not even be a PS4 game, which would be weird.
Yeah, I've heard that
Fantasy
too.
7.
I wouldn't doubt them, right?
I heard
mean,
that about Red Dead also.
Yeah,
But that's coming out this year.
See, I don't think that could be a Final Fantasy or a Grand Theft Auto 5 situation where it also gets like put it on the other systems as well.
Right.
But man, I don't know. That's the problem. I don't really know. I mean, Nintendo has some stuff announced. Here's the thing: they can just show up. Like, who would have thought a year ago going to E3 we would have been like Monster Hunter is going to be announced for the PS4?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
if
there's
you
the new
believe,
Tomb Raider,
if you
too,
believe
coming.
one rumor that was out there, there's a guy that
I remember
nailed
that.
it. Yeah, there's a guy that nailed everything when it came to Monster Hunter. So
I remember that. I was like, no one believed it either. Like,
yeah, nobody
Monster on the
believed it.
PS4.
Yeah, nobody believed. I mean, I thought it was possible. But
Yeah, I mean that basically was Capcom going where they knew they could make a ton of money all at once,
Yeah.
and they needed it. If there was no Monster Hunter right now, I think Capcom would be in some trouble right
their
now.
investment paid off. It paid off because that development was long. That was a long development and expensive development. So,
Oh yeah, that was like they said it was almost 4 years now, so
yeah.
it was a while. Cool. All right, are we good, Evan?
Yep, good on my end.
Okay, I guess we can close it out here. Let me jump over to Jay. Where can they find you, man?
So my channel, or I'm on Twitter everywhere. Hey Jay Official is where you can find me.
Jay Official. Make sure you check out Hey Jay. Go check out what he has. Sub, like all that stuff.
Drop
What's
my
this?
link in the chat.
Oh man, see the chat is like behind or something. Like none of these super chats are showing up for my on my end. This is
It probably
weird.
keeps logging you out and logging you back in. That's what it's been doing for me this whole
is
time.
so weird. Jay Childers actually dropped in. He said, "Do you think Microsoft will make all their first party games?" Oh, we did that one, and then the other one was, oh, this is one I missed. Sorry. Joshua says Nintendo needs to put all the 30 NES Classic games or 18 SNES Classic games on a Switch cart and charge the same amount. I don't know if they would do that.
Yeah,
I don't think they would do that. No, they're making a lot of money off their NES stuff, right? And Super Nintendo Classic right now. Just because they actually make money off the Super Nintendo Classic one currently. I don't think they would do that. They probably will do an NES remix or something like that for the Switch, I think, at some point.
I could see them putting them all on Virtual Console and charging a price for each one.
That makes sense. Yeah, I just want to see the service that they're going to put out first to see, because they're going to apparently give games away to a degree. So we'll see about that. You want to go back through Jay real quick? Sorry,
What's that?
I cut you off a little bit there. Where can they find you again? You said it was Hey Jay Official?
Yeah, Hey Jay Official, or if you just click on my link, or I can't post links, but click me here in the chat.
Evan, do you have his channel?
Not on hand right now.
The chat is so weird tonight. I think they're making
I'm like fighting.
Weird.
I'm fighting with YouTube like all night.
I think something's going on over there.
It's the first time I've seen this drop down at the top. It says top chat instead of live chat.
Weird.
Top chat?
Yeah.
Top chat?
Yeah,
What
that's
is
very
that?
weird. I
Top
don't know.
chat.
Also,
Top chat filters out. Yeah, it keeps signing me out, but Top chat filters out like spam for some reason.
Oh, and then you go to live
Things-
chat.
In here.
Just change it
Yeah.
to live chat so you can see everything. I think we're good. People wanted to raid. Do you guys have any small YouTube or anything we can send people to?
I was rated last week.
We did. Yes.
Feel so special for that.
They don't even ask. They just go, "Who we raiding?" It's like serious business in this chat. Yeah, that's interesting. Top chat, live chat. I was watching a live streamer yesterday. I think whenever I'm editing videos, if somebody's live streaming, I'll just pop in. Like OG, I pop in your streams all the time.
I'll just only raid people who are live.
I'll have to keep
Appreciate
an
you.
eye out.
I appreciate you coming to my streams. I appreciate that, dude.
Yeah. I'll pop in on all kinds of people's streams, just seeing what's going on. When I'm editing, I spend a lot of time sitting here, and I'm like, let me see what's going on in the YouTube world. I don't know who's streaming right now.
Why don't we just pick a rando who's playing a game that's interesting? Hey, someone's playing For Honor.
Got to be a speedrunner, and we're gonna.
Yeah, no, that was the worst. We sent him to a speedrunner, and he like started messing up. Oh man, it was so bad.
No.
There's 3 people playing Sonic Forces right now.
Okay, send him to Sonic Forces.
People are saying Arlo. I don't think Arlo's streaming right now, is he? I don't think he is.
No,
Does he,
they're probably just yelling it out because they keep asking us to have Arlo on, and we keep telling them we have invited him, and we're still trying to work
Does
out
he
the
reply to
logistics.
you guys?
No
I've been
one
trying to
believes
get him on my podcast. He doesn't.
Yeah,
reply.
I talked to him in on Twitter occasionally in DM. He's a cool guy, but trying to work all that out. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah. Who is? Yeah, if you guys figure anybody out, who's
I don't know anybody. Nobody that I know. There's just a
Saturday
guy,
night's a bad night.
Yeah, there's just a guy who used to play football. Now he's like a big YouTube star. That's I don't like it. You guys will probably don't want to go over to his channel. So that's the only person that I know. That's
you know
Hey,
what?
someone's streaming a Link Between Worlds.
Oh,
How do we go to that?
Nintendo.
Oh, that's speedrun. Never mind.
Nintendo's on right now.
Oh, is he?
That's what. Yeah, but I'm getting errors every time I click on it.
Oh gosh. Oh man. He's playing Odyssey.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, let me. I'd stop. Let me. I'll see if I can figure out the link for sure. And OJ, where can they find you, man?
I'm at YouTube, just PlayerEssence. I think I have left the link. Maybe Evan can put it in the chat. I left the link on the chat here. And yeah, you can just find me right there. I'm also on Twitter as well. Just PlayerEssence. Just search me up and you can find me there. I cover a lot of Japanese RPG, gaming news, stuff like that. Pretty big on live streams as well. I do live streams almost daily for the most part. So if you want to come through, hang out with the community, play some games and other stuff like that, feel free to come through, subscribe, and join the community.
Bob, what about you, man?
YouTube.com/WulffDen, WULFFDEN. I do a lot of Switch related stuff, mostly gaming hardware stuff. And my brother does comic books and movies, and we do a live show just like this, and we live stream gameplay and stuff, and we do a lot of things. So go over there and look at my Twitter, and I tell stupid jokes, dad jokes and stuff. That's it.
What about you, Evan?
Mostly Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Kimmerix Project. Just linked it in chat. I'm the mod.
Cool.
Yeah, that's about it. I haven't really done much with my YouTubes because I gotta cut out a major part of my life that's taking over as like retail and whatnot, so before I can actually go back to that. since I am working mostly on SpawnWave at this point.
Yes, I think we streamed Nintendo Ultra the other day.
Yep.
So I'll drop. There you go. You guys can go to. People are already going to his chat anyway. So, let me see. Yeah, people are already going there. There is Nintendo's channel. You can go bug him. He's speed running, so have fun messing him up, I guess. Oh, I didn't know that. Hold on. You guys can choose. Yellow Kazoo's actually doing a charity stream. She was on the channel the other day, the other week, and she's actually doing a charity stream. So I'll send people over there from that as well if you guys want to do that. I don't know what she's playing Mario Maker. Okay, cool. She's doing there you go. She's doing a charity for brain tumor research. So I will drop that in there. That's Yellow Kazoo. You can go to either one, Nintendo or Yellow Kazoo. Go say hi. And I guess that's it. I guess we're done here, guys. Everyone good?
Yay.
Cool. We're good.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, cool.
All good.
All right, guys. We'll see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern.